Welcome back to GhettoRig episode number 16. So today we have a special guest for you. I'm going to introduce her a little bit. So she's literally a boss babe, not just a figure of speech, but she is a boss babe, a mom of two, a wife, takes care of everything. On top of everything, she has at least two businesses running and doing super well. She's an entrepreneur with a capital E. And welcome, Blanca.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
What'd you do today?
Today I had a good chance to go to the shop, which is not open yet. And I was able to just be there, clean, and get some things together that I have
So
to do.
tell us a little bit more about the shop. We know what's the shop, but the viewers probably don't. So tell us what's this shop all about.
Okay. So my idea was on the shop is I wanna do what I'm good at. So what I know that I'm good at, for example, is I can blow dry anyone's hair like with my eyes closed, and I can do some makeup, I can do waxing, and the last thing that I recently started doing was I'm now doing tattooing, cosmetic tattooing. So
You guys hear that?
no.
Hey guys, give us a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear us well.
It's like a weird
Um,
static.
Is there static that you're hearing or everything coming through good?
Take that box off. Take the road off the barrier. Still coming through?
No, I think we're good.
I can still hear it.
Sorry guys, we're setting up new equipment. We just got two new mics in. So we're just setting all that up.
Hold on, Jay.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's too close to the computer.
No, it was this.
It was cross.
I just
It
moved
was a little
this.
cross, right?
Arthur said all good.
Yeah.
They can hear us well. I think it's just us.
Yeah, now?
It's good
Yeah.
now. It went away.
All right, cool. So sorry again, Blanca. So go ahead, tell us a little more
That's
about
okay.
that tattooing part, cosmetic tattooing. What does that entail? How do you do it? What?
So cosmetic tattooing is a little different than regular tattooing. So the needle doesn't go in as deep into the skin.
Mm-hmm.
So with the pigments that you use, for example, I do eyebrows right now. So the way that it works is you put the pigment in and it stays true to its color because it's not going as deep as a regular tattoo, for example.
Now with your skin like changing layers as time goes by, do you have to redo this, or is it when they say permanent, is it truly permanent, or you don't need retouching and stuff like that sometimes?
At the end of the day, you're always going to have something there, but they do fade with time,
Oh.
especially depending on skin types. Like if you have drier skin types, it's going to last longer. If your skin is more on the oily side, then it's going to have more fading for sure.
So how long would you say an average person would expect to have a on fleek eyebrows for once they get it tattooed?
It really depends on the technique and who did it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get microblading, which we can talk about, that later as well. But depending on the technique, what needles are they using, what pigments are they using, that will depend. Because, like for example, I got it done maybe about 4 years ago, the first time, and I loved how the way that they faded for me was very natural. So I loved that. Until then, I realized, 4 years later, I started like touching them up, and then I was like, you know what, maybe it's time I should go back and get a
So
tattoo.
4 years, that's pretty decent. I mean, you're looking at 1,440 days or something like that. I think that's pretty good, and
Yeah,
then getting
yeah,
it done every 4 years. I mean, if you think about how many times you change your shoes, your clothes, your makeup, like getting it done once and then having to redo it again in four
yeah.
years, that's pretty
And
good.
and sometimes you tell people the price, and they're like, oh my God, that's too much. But it is an investment. You're gonna save a lot of time when you're getting ready, especially now. Like brows are a big deal right now.
Hmm. Yeah. So basically, what it does, my understanding is, it gives it that perfect shape or whatever shape you want it to give.
Yeah, so The way that I do it, and a lot of people do it, and the right way of doing it is you measure depending on the person's facial features.
Ah, okay.
So you measure with the nose and the end of the eyes right here, for example, and that way you know how long it should be.
Okay.
There's still people out there doing them, and they're like way too long, but that's all preference as well.
So let me ask you this. You know how over the years the fashion changes and like the way people do their eyebrows change? You know, back in the day, I remember it was just a one skinny line,
Yeah.
or they would take the knife and then put it there to get those perfect lines in, you know?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that?
um well, one thing is, if they do fade with time, then maybe you could change them later depending on how trends change. But like for me, honestly, I know trends can change, but I like to stick to what I feel looks good on me. Not everything that's trending is gonna look good on everybody,
Yeah.
So just, I mean, try to stay within your comfort zone.
No, and I was gonna say the same thing. There are clothes that I like, for example, but then I'll put them on and they look like crap, but they're in fashion. So
One
what do I
hundred
do? Do I
percent.
buy something and then look like
It's
crap,
the
or I
same
just
thing with
stick
the
with something?
eyebrows.
Yeah.
Because, like, I couldn't imagine myself with really skinny eyebrows.
Yeah,
But
especially like we can talk about Emily right now. She has like the laminated look. If you look at her brows, they're like, they look like pretty feathery up. So
I told her when she got here that they
that's
look
in
spiky.
style right now.
Hey, look in the camera so we can see you. Maybe zoom in on Emily's bushy eyebrows. Not bushy, but like
she just
perfect
waxed
eyebrows.
this
Yeah.
today, so.
So to give you an example, when that started coming out, I was like, hell no, that does not look good on me.
Hmm.
But I love it now, So, but for now, I can do it.
But then again, if somebody, let's say Emily decides to get her eyebrows tattooed, she does get them tattooed. But the way she has that style, like it's not gonna get in a way because
No, yeah, because this, I'd literally just brush it up with gel and, like, give it that shape.
Yeah, so like if you have your eyebrows tattooed, for example, and you want to get that look, if your eyebrows are trimmed, like for example for me, I keep my eyebrows trimmed, then I don't have a problem doing that, and it looks good.
now let me ask you this. I know also girls sometimes get their eyelashes or like the skin around the
The
eyelashes tattooed.
eyeliner.
The
Yeah.
eyeliner
Do you
Yeah.
do that too?
I don't do it right now. I want to do it in the future. I like the technique now. Back in the day, people used to do like this black line,
Mm-hmm.
and they would do it with like a regular tattoo machine and a regular tattoo needle. So what would happen is you see a lot of older women that have these tattoos, and they're now blue or greenish,
I
just
gotcha.
like any other, old black tattoo.
It's that has to do with that needle going in too deep.
Exactly. And on top of that, they would add like this either gold line right on top of it or like a beige line. And oh my God, that looks horrible. Thank God it's like not in style anymore.
So what services are you going to offer at your dry bar, right? What's it called?
Yeah, yeah. So it's a blow dry bar. It's not a regular salon. It's a place, my idea, like I was saying in the beginning, my idea is you go in here and, you go to the right place to make you feel beautiful. Do you have an event? Or if you just don't want to blow dry your hair. So it's mainly the main thing that's going to come through. And, my idea was if I need a service that's going to bring in people on a regular basis. And since I love blow drying, that's why I decided it has to be a blow dry bar for me.
Because girls usually get their haircuts like once every 2-3 months or something like
Yes.
that, right?
Yes, exactly. And I am going to offer minor haircut services.
Like to do styling, special styling?
Yeah,
whatever?
like let's say I blow dry somebody's hair and the ends look too dead, and if she's not gonna leave my place looking great, then I'm gonna offer that to her, like, hey, would you like me to do a little trim, or if they want some bangs, like that's fine, but I want to focus on what I feel I'm good at. I know there's other people out there that are great at doing hair color. They're great at doing amazing haircuts, so I'll leave that to them. In my place, I want it to be come in, let's, blow dry you. Do you want to get your wax done? Makeup, things like that. More of like an event type of thing, but also, just like on a regular weekly thing as well.
So, and so you're from Dominican Republic, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're Dominican. The reason I mentioned this because I heard somewhere, I don't know if this is true or not. They say that every woman that's born in Dominican Republic, they're born with a blow dryer in their hand. Is that true?
It's part of the culture.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't see it as a great thing.
So you know how other people teach their kids how to eat with a fork and a knife in Dominican Republic? They teach you how to hold a blow dryer.
Literally.
Pretty much.
Why do you
Because
say
lot
that's a
of
bad
them-
thing?
Because I feel that a lot of people in the world, and mainly because we're talking about Dominican Republic, is if you have curly hair and you're going to an event, having your hair curly was like, oh, you don't look like you're put together, or you don't look good. Always straight hair was the best option. If your hair wasn't done, then oh my God, look at her.
So yeah, I get what you're saying. Put that bad stigma.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't
On
think it's a
curly
stigma. I
hair.
think in United States, I don't think in United States it's popular, but it is not as popular as any other foreign country. You want to look super presentable when you're going somewhere, and I think in Dominican Republic that's a thing. And then plus, I think it has to do with the demographic of Dominican Republic, right? Because Caribbean received about 11 million slaves back in the day, right? And so
Yeah.
there's a mix of African Caribbeans with the actual Spaniards, right? So
Yeah.
you're gonna have a generation of mixed race people that are gonna have curlier hair, a little less like you get out of shower and it looks like an explosion at the spaghetti factory. You know what I mean? So you would need somebody like Blanca to come in and say, you know what, you got an event. Let me make this the way you want it. Make it presentable. Now you can go out there and you're doing your event. Because correct me if I'm wrong. In Dominican Republic, even if you like going out to the store, ladies like dress up, like put makeup on, and like they want to look super
Ladies
presentable.
would rather
Mhm.
go to the store in rollers, in their roller set, than
Yeah.
go to the store with curly hair.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, like, come on. You see them all over the place, like in taxis, anywhere.
Mhm.
Wherever they right before they go to wherever they're
Con
going, they'll take
con
their
la
roller
redecilla
set off.
puesta.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That-
because
that redecilla is that little like black net
yeah,
that
yeah,
you see my mom or Emily
Yeah.
walking around in sometimes.
yeah, but because I think that has to do with the quality of your hair. Because if you have a little more protein in it and it curls your hair,
No, so the way that it works with curly hair is your hair follicle.
Mhm.
So for people with straight hair, their hair follicle is round.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, like the string whenever you're doing
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's the same thing. So for people with extra curly hair, their hair follicle is super flat. So
Ah.
whenever the hair comes out, it makes it curly.
I gotcha.
So
It's
that's
like
kind of-
taking the scissor on the string and like
The
and making
exact
it
same
curl.
thing. The
Okay.
exact same thing. So yeah,
Okay.
that's how it works.
Now, are you gonna do? Because there's this thing is called as Brazilian blowout, right? Like, are you? Can you explain that a little bit, and then can you tell if you're gonna offer that as well in a salon or no?
Yeah, so there's one brand that I want to work with that I want to have at the salon. It's really good, and they have something, you can call it a Brazilian blowout or something like that, but it's something that actually helps your hair be more straight, and it keeps it straight for a longer period of time. So you would have to get it touched up like every 6 months. It's not recommended to get it done, anytime before that.
Yeah, and my understanding is when you do the Brazilian blowout, it actually denatures the actual proteins in your hair, and that's
Okay.
what makes them straight.
So
or
so
no?
here's the difference of what I'm gonna use compared to what other people have been using. What got really famous was this Brazilian blowout that had formaldehyde, which is
horrible for you. Yeah.
especially
It's
when
carcinogen.
you're all the fumes are coming up to you. Like, that's the worst thing you can get. But what I will be using, it's a little different. It doesn't have all of those chemicals, and that's one of the reasons why I want to do something a little more different, and something that's going to be good for the girls that are going to be working there, and for the client as well.
So we covered now the tattooing, we covered the
Mm-hmm.
hair, the blow drying, the trims as necessary. Now, are you gonna also do makeup and like nails and stuff like that? So go a little bit deeper into that if you are.
We are gonna do makeup. Emily's gonna be working there as well.
Nice.
So yes, makeup. I love doing makeup. It's something that I wanted to do for a really, really long time, and I didn't do it for the longest time because I just didn't think I was good enough until I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take a class.
Yeah,
And
so to all the viewers at home and future viewers, listen, this girl didn't just go on YouTube and learn how to put makeup on. She didn't just go to YouTube and learn how to
Yeah,
do
what are some like the different certifications or stuff that you have? Not necessarily you have to get
so
it right,
that's
but
something that I want to talk about, especially because there's a lot of people out there that are giving classes on. I'll give you a perfect example. I
You
had
don't
a,
have
I
to
had,
mention names, you
no,
know,
no, no,
but
I
just
don't.
for
No, no, I
the
don't. I don't. There's people doing like tattooing classes, for example, and then I'll give you another example as well. With tattooing, if you're not licensed and the person that's giving the class is not helping you with that license, then what good does it do to spend $2,000, $1,500 if because it happened to a friend of mine.
Oh, so she learned how to do it, but then she can't get it
So
because
so
there's
this
no
is what
license.
happened. The girl was licensed in LA. The girl's really good. But my friend was like, I really want to do it with her. She does really good work. And I was like, go for it. So then, like a week before she did the training, I said, hey, because I just thought about it. I said, is she going to help you with the license? And she goes, oh my God, I have no idea. So she went and asked the girl, and the girl said, oh no, unfortunately, I'm not licensed in Florida. But she's coming to Orlando to give a class. So just people have to think about like what you need a license for anything. So what license do I need before get that done first and then go.
so she
go
was
and
gonna go take a class with this really famous artist or whatever, but the class was literally just a class to teach you, not necessarily to actually certify you or anything like
Exactly.
that, or
Yeah.
help with the certification.
So
Okay.
it's just basically not necessarily a money grab because they're teaching you a skill, but at the same time, okay, fine, I got the skill now. How do I get the license? So which makes sense what you're saying. So this way you can still go take the class with it once you got license. Once you do that, you know, saying okay, I want to expand my skill level. I want to learn from the
Yeah.
best. Then you can go take these classes
Yeah.
after you're licensed.
Yeah. And my friend, for example, thankfully the girl moved to Tampa. So she's now licensed in Tampa.
Okay.
So she's now going to be able to get that license because
okay.
she's gonna, and it's gonna be more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more money. Now she paid $1,500, so now she has to pay $900.
So what are what are the services you're going to offer in total? So you got the
hair,
makeup,
waxing,
waxing as well,
and tattooing.
tattooing. Okay, so the only one that you don't do you need a certification for what? Like, do you require
and
licenses
lashes
for
as
the
well.
hair
So you need a cosmetology license.
to offer that service?
Yes.
Everything you're offering, you need a license for.
Yes.
to-
So
or does
luckily
the
for
makeup
me,
does?
when I went to cosmetology school, with cosmetology, a lot of things fall under cosmetology. So I can do lashes, I can do hair, I can do waxing.
Okay.
So the license that you have, the cosmetology license that you have, it's actually not just like a rinky-dink license just for one thing.
Oh,
It's
no.
actually like all-encompassing. So you've invested a lot of time and
Yeah.
finances just to get these licenses.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, thank God, back in 2012, I mean, I'm horrible in math, so I dropped out of college. And then I decided, I have to do something. And what do I love to do? And
Listen, if you can count the lashes, you're good. You know what I mean? That's all you
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like if you have the focus
Yeah.
that it takes,
Patience.
the focus, patience that it takes to split one hair by
Literally,
one hair.
that's what they're
Hey,
doing. They're
and
splitting
apply-
hair.
As
yeah.
long as they don't stick together, I'm good. I'm good. That's all that matters.
Now, what are your thoughts? Because I see a lot of times, and you know what? I want to talk about something here. I think it was about 6 months ago, a couple of months ago, there was a lot of misinformation that was going through internet. And they were calling, the lashes that girls get right now, they're calling them cumbrellas. The reason they're calling that is because they're saying that there was this.
I heard about this.
Yep. They're
Yeah.
saying that this prostitute basically invented those to keep
my
the
God.
spunk out of the eyes.
Yeah.
But this is complete. This is complete misinformation. So I've looked into this actually. So there was an actress, I forget her name.
What does that mean? I'm
Jorge
sorry,
has
Jay,
problems.
but what does that mean?
I don't know. I think he thinks that he sounds like Haitian or something when he says that. I don't know. He always says that. He thinks he's so funny.
You were saying
So this
cumbrellas?
she was I think she was a French actress in like around 1970s or something like that, and she was the first one that started using these in the movies, and they started putting this in the magazines, and then she eventually ended up patenting the lashes as a patent for herself. So that's how the lashes came around. It has nothing to do with any prostitutes, none of that shit. All that was complete misinformation that they're putting through internet, right?
It
So
first
doesn't-
started with just it being like the strip, right? The whole strip
yeah,
together.
like glue
then
and
they
whatever.
glue like the whole strip on, right? That's
There's
how
a
it first
couple,
started,
There's a
right?
couple different options. There's the strip lashes that you can get at the pharmacy. Now they have these other lashes. They're called clusters, and you can. So you can. A lot of people will get this done like at a nail store, at a nail
Salon?
shop. Yeah, but what happens is people they were using like really strong glue, so your lashes are all stuck together, and that's why you see some women and you can see that it's like really really shiny, and they're like really really like it just looks horrible. It's so bad for your lashes because one lash wants to grow and the other one can't.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so then
It
that
hurts
hair
when
follicle is
happens, too.
dead.
Mm.
And then finally, when you decide, you know what, let me take this off because I'm in pain, then they're left with nothing.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and
Yeah, if the
I
eyelashes
had a
get stuck
horrible
together, it's
experience
painful.
with a girl that came to get her lashes done, and I my specialty when it comes to lashes is like natural, just like one lash on one lash, you
Yeah.
know. And she came in and she booked for a natural set, and because there wasn't anyone else that was available to give her like a volume set, which she wanted a lot because that's what she's used to. And I finished it, and it was a full set. She had one lash on every single one of her lashes. And the girl was, when she looked at it, she's like, well, there's nothing there. And I said, well, there is. Here's a picture of your before and after, you know, and whatever. I said, well, that's what you booked. If you didn't want that, then once, you know, it's so, but what I learned from that is you have to be open with the client. As soon as you see something, she wanted to book for volume, but she didn't get it. She just booked for natural, and she didn't have enough lashes because she was doing the clusters before.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. Because she didn't have her own lashes, like there was minus, there was like a lash deficit, natural lash deficit. So, and
Exactly.
I also want to mention one thing, like it's super important. The reason we're asking these questions is because I've seen some pictures online, and I don't want you to go ahead at home and do that. Don't do that right now. It's pretty gross. But a lot of times girls will go to these hole in the wall places, get this done with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, and whatever they're using, then they start getting infections in their eyes and things like that. So
Allergic
this is
reactions.
yeah,
crazy
this
stuff.
is not
Yes.
a joke, right? Like, so this is really not
Yeah.
a joke. So you probably want to go to someone like Blanca here that's licensed,
kinda-
knows exactly what they're doing, uses good product.
It kind of reminds me of how when they used to talk like when like chiropractors first started popping up, they were like, "Well, be sure you're going to somebody right, because you might walk out of that place sideways or whatever." You
Yeah,
know?
coming out with a L3, L4, all jacked, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh my
Just
God.
but yeah, so
Yeah.
it's super. Hey guys, before we go into the next topic, I can see we got about 18 people watching, which is awesome. Thank you so much for that. And I'm gonna just check on a like count. I'm sure you guys already liked and liked the video and shared it.
Yeah, no.
We have 19 people, but we only have 7 likes. If you could go ahead and hit that like button, the more likes we can get, the further this is gonna go, and more people can see it and they can understand the difference between going to a professional and going to your neighbor, unlike, you know, and getting it ghetto rigged, unlike our podcast.
This reminds me of the other day. Mickey, see if you can find this. This woman, they were in. It looked like one of those set up fake court things, right? Like online. But it was this woman suing this other lady because she gave her some special cream or oil or something. It was
Oh my
she
God.
called it something funny, right?
Oh, it
but
was
she
some sort of a brujeria. They just
no, like some oil or cream she makes for her hair, and she
Uh-huh.
basically was saying, like, I'm gonna give this to you. You're gonna pay me, right, She gave the lady the cream. It worked for her hair, and she admitted that it worked and never paid her. She took her to court, this and that, da da da. And she kept trying to, or she admitted that her hair grew back, but she wouldn't say that it was the cream, so she didn't want to pay her, or something like that. See if you can find it. It's two old ladies arguing about hair.
That doesn't make much sense.
It was pretty funny.
Like, what was the reason?
So let me ask you this. So let's say someone comes in to your place and they want to get something done, and you know, because you've been doing this for a while, you just by looking at their face and stuff, you know it's like, listen, I can get this done for you, but it's gonna look really bad on you.
Yeah.
Do you ever tell them, hey, listen, how do you approach those situations? What do? Do you just do it, or do you just say, hey, listen?
If they show me the picture, and I mean, of course, I'll compliment it and say, oh, that's really pretty, because normally it's something that looks really good, and then I'll say, you know what, I really like that, but looking at your eye, I feel like this will be a better option for you, and I'll show you why. And I'll show them pictures and go from there. But just having a good communication with the client is the best thing to do, because he's gonna save you a lot of headaches, bad reviews, and them coming back to you.
Yeah. So let me ask you this also. So now everyone knows everyone gets the eyelashes on the top, but there's now a new wave of girls that are getting also eyelashes on the bottom. To me, that looks like just spider legs. You know what I mean? When there's a lot.
Yeah.
So how do you approach that?
It reminds me of the Venus flytrap.
Yeah, just.
So I feel like there's always a way to do that can look good. A lot of the things that we see online are very extreme. So I don't recommend it, because when you have a lash extension on the top, like this is your lash, right? And you have a lash extension on the top, a lot of the times the base comes off, and if that happens to the bottom one, they're gonna get stuck together, and it's gonna be super annoying. I don't recommend it at all.
So let me ask you this: is this true, or this was a like, again, one of those memes? You know how there was a moment there memes were coming up with like curly lashes that look like pubic hair?
No, come
is
on.
that true?
Come on, no. I think
So you haven't had a client that give me some pubic hair lashes?
no, I'm good.
He's like, I'm good.
I'll
good.
stay the
We don't
Dominican
offer this
way.
here.
I'll stay the Dominican way. Let's keep lashes straight.
What do you think? I argued with my mom the other day. She was telling me how getting her eyebrows tattooed, or like the liner tattooed or whatever, it's not the same thing as me getting a normal tattoo.
Well, I mean,
She was there one day for that argument, so.
what do you mean? Wait, say that the question
So
again.
getting your eyebrows tattooed or getting an eyeliner tattooed.
Oh, because it's cosmetic, I guess. She's
Or like
thinking
your
it's
mom,
different.
how she wants the
Yeah,
hair
she's
one.
saying it's different, and I said no, it's the same thing. You're still getting a tattoo.
Well,
Well,
I mean, from
I
her
get it.
perspective,
I get that it's to accent something.
Yeah, of
You know
course.
what I mean? That
you
you
wanna
already
accentuate your
that
your,
that you
your
already
beauty.
naturally have,
Exactly.
right? But you're still going to
You don't actually have eyeliner.
But I'm okay, like
So the
or
eyebrows,
something.
yeah, but-
the eyebrow. Okay, the eyeliner. Yeah, I get that. What you're saying.
I see what he's talking about.
But it's
I know
still,
exactly what
it's
he's talking
still
about.
something to. You're still doing something extra to
Yeah,
add, right?
yeah.
So what difference does it make? And it's permanent. She was saying it wasn't different. I was telling her it's just.
Yeah, I mean,
Or she was saying it was different. and
She
it's-
said like the actual process now, the way she uses, is completely different from the actual tattoo.
Yeah, it is.
So
right?
the
'Cause
process
you say
is
it doesn't
different.
go as deep.
yeah, exactly.
So, but let's say if somebody's like completely against tattoos and like, oh, tattoos are bad, tattoos are this, tattoos are that, and then
Then
they
they're
go
always
and
gonna
get
think
their
that way.
eyebrows and eyelashes tattooed, then at
mom-
that point you can say, hey, I thought you said that tattoos are
my
bad.
mom-
Both of our mothers. Both
yeah,
of our
my mom
mothers did
too.
the same
Yeah.
thing.
My mom is against tattoos. Like, when I got mine, she was upset. She always told my brother, you cannot get tattoos unless you don't live in my house, this and that. But she has her eyeliner tattoo, the top and the bottom, and she wants to do her eyebrows. And I'm like, what's the difference? Oh, this is a beauty thing. It's not a random art piece. And
It's
I'm
still
like,
a
"It's the
tattoo.
same
I mean,
thing."
if they're looking at the perspective of the Bible and whatever,
Dámela vaina ver de eso.
I mean, this. I mean, you're still changing. It's
So-
pigment going into your skin.
So you gotta think about it this way. Now I think it's something. The numbers are something like 20% of all United States people that live in the United States have a tattoo. 20%.
That's it?
Which, yeah. So
One in
which-
5? How much?
one in five. That's
a
actually
lot.
a lot.
Is
That's
that
a lot.
okay?
Yeah. So if you think
And I bet you
about
have a
it,
lot of people like me that want to get a tattoo, just really haven't yet or whatever.
so if you think about it, like in Cuba or Dominican Republic or even Lithuania or Armenia, like if you had tattoos before, like the tattoos became more of an art thing, there were like indication of you being in prison. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anytime somebody had a tattoo, there was an immediate negative connotation that they were in prison. In some places that are a little more conservative, maybe Cuba now, I don't know if they're a little more conservative, they're gonna
In
think that
Cuba,
way.
in Cuba now, almost everybody has
Yeah,
tattoos.
not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay,
But
there you go.
but I would imagine that it's like kind of like DR, that a lot of the old heads, like some of our uncles and aunts and stuff, still think it's something of delinquency.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah,
that way
no.
you look at
Yeah.
it in
So now,
Lithuania and other parts of the world too.
yeah. So the way it, we're thinking about this is like, tattoos and whatever, right? Because now it became more of an art thing, and everybody's kind of getting them.
Yeah.
But back in the day, if you think about it, when tattoos didn't exist, and like let's say medicine wasn't completely there, so
Well, I think tattooing goes back before medicine.
correct. What I'm saying,
So-
yes, some cultures, like some indigenous people will have the tattoos because it's part of their,
Yeah.
or they
Yeah.
would have the cuts like in Africa,
Yeah, the scars.
scars.
Yeah.
So in some cultures, the way they looked at it is if you had something on your skin that was foreign, right? They would think of it as, oh, there's something wrong with you, so you're not a like marriage material.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they would
Like where
like,
you
or
have
if you have
pure or
like very
something?
big birthmarks, or
Uh-huh.
like some, how some people will have the red birthmark.
You're not prime cattle.
You're not
Innocent.
prime cut. Yeah, you're not
You're
prime
not
cut.
pure.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it as well. But then nowadays,
What do you
it's a little
think of
different.
like all the crazy body modifications that you see, like people like huge gauges or
Yeah,
like
so
getting like parts of, you see like they get their
Yeah.
nose removed,
yeah.
like part of their nose removed so it like sinks in, or,
Yeah, so personally,
or cheekbone.
I'm okay with tattoos. I personally, my opinion, I do not like that at all. I don't like it. You take
It's
those
too
things
far,
out
right?
from your ears, and then you have this ear that's just dangling there.
And then you
and-
get that white shit in there that you have to constantly
Okay, that's
clean.
enough.
I think
That's
that
enough.
smells so bad.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Body modifications, not for me.
How-
But
so
I respect it.
how
Whoever
long-
that wants to get it done.
How
go
long
ahead.
have you like total been like when was it that you got your license, like cosmetology, like that?
Cosmetology was in 2012. I graduated 2012.
Was that when you first got into it, or did you do anything cosmetology related beforehand that led you going to the school?
No. I honestly, I had this thing like whenever I would hang out with my friends or family, and we were going somewhere, and I would see like my sister or a friend of mine just not looking good. I was like, hey, can we hold on? Let's do this real quick, or let's do that real quick.
Yeah.
And then I just realized, like, I just freaking love this, And my mom always said, graduate from doing, our parents, graduate from doing something. Even if it's bathing roaches, that's what they say that in DR. But graduate from something. And when I dropped out of college and I was about to tell my parents I was going to cosmetology school, I was freaking out because a lot of people don't think like that's an actual career. And I am so glad I did it, and my parents were so happy for me, and they were like, that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that.
Well, see, I don't think it's a career if you get it and then you're not doing anything with it. You just get it.
Correct.
And you have all these grandiose dreams of, I'm going to get this and everything is going to come my way because I have the license.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
yeah.
you can attest to this. I mean, it's a lot of work. You're constantly on Instagram. You're constantly posting. Like, it's actual work. You probably do more work on social media and networking.
And like you talked about before, it's one of those things you have to keep up with the trends constantly when something
Yeah,
new comes
yeah.
out. And,
And-
do they
and-
force you to like renew the license every so often to
yes,
like
you have to
learn new
renew your license.
learn
Everybody
new
has to
stuff?
renew their
How
license in
often?
Florida. October, once a year.
So every year.
Oh, every year you
no,
have
I'm
to.
sorry, I'm lying. Every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Yes.
What do they make you do to renew the license, or like a test?
Yes, exactly. You have to do a test, and it's mainly like contamination and
Health-related stuff.
pretty much, yeah, and like basic stuff. So like this year, they added more questions of like trends and things like that, like balayage. Now that all the girls are getting the balayage done.
What is
Yeah,
that?
that's what I was.
it.
I have no
So
idea what that is.
balayage is like the new the new style of
Highlights.
highlights. Yeah. So now you don't get your highlights that go from to the scalp to the from your scalp to your ends. Like you don't get that anymore. Now it's a blended look.
So it looks like
It's like
you've had
blend.
this done 3 months
Exactly.
ago.
So what happens is you don't need a touch up so often.
I feel like it's
You
a mixture
can get a
of like
touch-up every 6
highlights and
months.
ombre.
Huh?
I feel like it's a mixture of highlights and
And
ombre.
ombre.
So instead of
Correct.
being instead of the strip of hair being that one color throughout the other bunch, it's that strip of hair goes from your natural color to the highlight back and
Exactly.
forth within that one strip, or does it only go from like top to bottom like ombre, or do you mix in?
Listen,
no,
you
the-
guys have to
between.
it's
stop
both-
using these big words
it's
because I have
both
no idea
things
what y'all
mixed in.
talking about.
Do you know what
Ombre,
ombre
ombre.
is?
Yeah, but I'm asking, for example, when
Ombre
you do the
means
balayage,
a man.
right? 'Cause
Uh-huh.
I've heard you guys talk about this a lot.
Uh-huh.
Is it just like a normal ombre throughout the highlight, or do you like put patches of the like mixed into the highlight?
Yeah, so a
Eddie's
lot of
been
the
learning.
times,
He's going deep into it.
So
Yeah, right, that's-
So, well, the thing is, the your ends are a lot lighter, but the highlights that are within that balayage are not as light as your ends.
Okay.
So
And
to
then
answer your question, because I don't think she understood.
Yeah, I
The
don't think
one
so.
strand, it goes from dark to light. The ends are the lightest, the top is the darkest. So it's just
So
ombre.
it still does like normal
Oh.
ombre.
So it's like
Yeah.
a gradient.
It's like
Yeah.
ombre
It's a
highlights.
gradient.
Okay.
Ombre
Kinda,
highlights.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
It's a
it is.
gradient,
You're good.
and then
Yeah.
there's
You
like
can
some
whenever you
parts
want
that
like to
start
turn, you
higher,
can move it
some
around
start
however
lower.
you want. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an actual gradient. So it goes dark and then slowly goes light. It's not like dark, dark. There's a line and then completely
No, no, no,
light.
no.
Yeah.
That's what ombre means. It's grade like
And it's
gradient.
not-
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not like ombre back then where all of your hair was a gradient. This is a mixture of the gradient with highlights.
Mm.
So some pieces
Oh,
of
with
your
full
hair
highlights
will still
as
be
well.
Exactly.
Oh,
dark
Yeah, yeah.
completely.
I see what you're
So
saying.
it's like dark,
Uh-huh.
then a little lighter, then the highlights come in, and then you get like more of the lighter pieces.
But
You
still,
know,
there's
I'm
some
sitting
pieces that are
here
fully
and
dark.
you know what I'm thinking about sitting here? Two things. I'm so glad I'm not a girl. Number one. And number two, I am glad I don't have hair. Do I need to worry about doing it this way,
Yep.
the other way? I just cut them short and call it a day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, you know?
Man,
I
Women
used
put
to
a lot
have
of work.
balayage when we for Lynette's wedding. I don't know if you remember the blonde.
no.
That it was like a mixture. I can show you later.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Later, show and tell.
Yeah. But, I wanted to talk about, Jay.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about,
Anything you wanna talk
we were saying about the, cosmetology, like people think that it's not a career or whatever. But just to give you a perfect example, like waxing, there's waxers out there making doctor money. It's crazy to think. But think about it this way. If a girl is that good at example, doing Brazilian waxing, if you're that good and you're doing it in 15 minutes, you're charging good. So you're probably charging $80 for 15 minutes.
Mhm.
You have a PA at the ER, P General, for example, getting paid $95 an hour. You know what I mean? And this person is making $80 every 15 minutes.
No, that
And
makes
it's
sense.
insane.
it's
It's insane.
it's also you pay more for the convenience that it takes them less time, right? Because they're more
Yeah.
experienced. And
Yeah,
stuff.
Exactly.
it's not the amount of time you spent, it's the amount of experience for you to get to that time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, no, I totally get
they,
that.
because they have that much more experience, you actually save the customer time by making it only 15 minutes, where somebody that's not experienced might take
Yeah.
45
Yeah,
or an hour out of your
exactly.
day versus you popping in and out for 15 minutes and
Yeah.
getting it done.
So, just that's a common misconception. It's not only about cosmetology. Like, for example, somebody can come in and say, well, I cut grass for a living, right? And a lot of times, because it's a guy usually that does this, right? A lot of times girls will sit, oh, you cut grass? Like, pretty much it's not a job. But little does she know, he's making like mid six figures, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Halfway to $1 million by cutting grass,
the guy,
you know what I mean?
The guy that lives behind my house, I think is the same one who cuts your guys' grass. And
Oh,
his
yeah,
house
yeah.
is badass. He's got a nice garden, brand new truck from what I remember. When they bought that house, they redid the whole thing, remodeled the whole thing.
Yeah.
That makes
it's like
sense.
janitorial. Same thing.
You're right?
Same
Like,
thing. I would go into an office because, for the people that don't know, I also have me and my husband have a little cleaning franchise.
Oh, by the way, that's number 2 business.
Yeah. And sometimes you would go in an office or you would call like a client and they treat you like shit. Or they look at you like,
Yo,
but you
know,
make more
I
money
re-
than
And
they
I'm
are.
like, bro, like
I
seriously.
remember. I remember one time I went to go deliver supplies
Uh-huh.
to an account, and I'm walking into the elevator, and I was distracted, and I didn't notice a woman and her daughter were coming out. And I went to go walk in and said, "Oh, my bad," but I didn't like get close to them or anything. And the little girl smiled and laughed at me, and the mom had the most dirty look. But just because she noticed what I was doing, like simply out of that, because what did I do that was like
Yeah.
rude or anything? I
I
said,
remember-
"How? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Excuse me." And I stepped and I moved out of the way.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at first. My first instinct was like, "Oh, little girl," and I said, "Hi, little." Hi. I said, "Hi," and she said, "Hi," back, smiling. And then the mom had like dirty ass look.
That's disgusting.
Well, no,
People are just-
see, I think what's happening, there's a common misconception. Again, just like I said, like these people think because you have a trade versus an actual degree, somehow you're lower or you're not smart or you're not intelligent
help.
enough. But little do they
Like-
realize you probably have a lot more business experience with that. You're much better at doing something. You're much better working with your hands. You're
Probably
much
better
better
work
with
ethic.
talking to people because like
Hey.
having a trade, you have to network.
Hey.
It's not like you go in and get a job and that's
Yeah.
that, and then you just kind of do your job, punch in, punch out, and then you're over. This involves a lot. Like you got to go back and forth. Constantly put time and effort into this.
I remember one time I went with him to clean one of the accounts, and the one that we were doing, it was like a clubhouse with a pool. And there's like, I don't remember if it was the mom or the dad with like a little girl in the pool, and they see us cleaning, and Eddie overheard the mom say, "Oh, look, this is why you have to go to school, so you don't end up having to do this
Oh, disgusting.
when you grow up."
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So
And
they
it's
have no
like-
idea. They have no idea. Just like a prime example. When your dad was doing this, when he had his franchise going, do you think these people were getting the services because he was working with this company, like he had their franchise, or because they liked your dad? It was because they liked your dad.
My dad, when he had the whole thing break up with Jenny King, I can talk about this now because the
Oh.
whole 2 years of
I didn't know
by.
how far I can push this.
Yeah, we can talk about it now because he's now even legally allowed to pursue, like under his name, he can pursue cleaning services.
That's
right?
nice.
But when the whole thing happened, Jenny King lost accounts directly the moment he left. I mean, so
'Cause people were not happy.
He loopholed this. So he couldn't provide cleaning services, but he could work for them as a normal employee. So that's what he did with Lockheed Martin, which is an account that my dad had for years.
Yeah.
And the moment he left Jenny King, Lockheed's like, "Oh, it's not Eddie cleaning anymore. No, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good." And
And that's because of your dad networking throughout his life, like having a actual understanding how to talk to people, which is probably, in my opinion,
the biggest
being
thing with the cleaning is having good customer service. Is when a customer complains, is you being able to react quickly and fix the complaint. And so then, like the biggest thing my dad was like didn't tell me, but I noticed is when the client walks in the next day, that problem should be fixed.
Yeah.
Like by the next morning, that instant fix is a really good look.
Well, it's like being like when you have your own business, you have to be a very good salesman, right? And that doesn't entail you being good at selling. That actually entails being good at delivering what you said you're going to
Yeah,
deliver.
honestly, I believe is customer service. If you have that
we-
customer service, like they're gonna love you. And
I witnessed that differential where you're talking about firsthand, working with Randy doing the fencing. We used to run into before when working. He used to contract for a company that would give him jobs, and we would run into problems where like the sales guy didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah.
And would sell something and say, well, this is this and this and this. And when Randy would get there, they would ask questions or he would clarify, and then a whole shenanigan would break out because the sales guy didn't pitch it correctly or tell them
Yeah.
this was how it's going to be. Like, I remember the main thing was hard digs, right? Here in Florida, we have
Was what?
hard digs.
okay,
Like, so we have to doing
Get your mind
fencing.
out of the gutter. Goddamn, Blanca. We're
I
talking
just
about
got that.
business here.
When doing fencing, we gotta dig holes, right?
Yeah.
And here in Florida, there's so many trees and old trees, right? And the last job we did for them, they had this huge tree that was on the line, literally on the fence line. They had a stump grinder come in and like mess it up, but like the stump grinder only went like half a foot into the ground, and
That's not enough for a
yeah,
dig.
right. And so like you have to get through all these roots, and like right where one of the posts went on that literally right where the tree was. And it's like, well, that one we're just gonna have to cut and do like we would do like a pole that would have brackets to hold it up. But anyways, like any hole we would have to dig that wasn't necessarily on that tree, but around it would have a million roots, because we all know those trees stretch super far out under the ground. And when he had to explain to the customer, well, any of these roots I run into, anytime I spend, what was it, like 10 or 15 minutes more on a hole, that like that it would be considered a hard dig, and every hard dig is like $50 extra. Oh, that customer was pissed. Because they told him, oh, maybe 1 or 2 hard digs. Before we even got to the tree, like 4 hard digs. Before we're like within like 20 feet of the tree. Yeah. That's what I noticed you saying. Yeah, that's sales and actually service.
Delivering. You know what I mean? You can go out there and then offer them. This is the reason why people don't like the salesman, because salesmen will sell you the dream.
Yep.
The dream. And most of the people go in with an idea, oh, you know, because the salesman will come in as like, well, this guy told me this, like, oh, don't worry about it, we're a much better company. You know, they sell you the dream and like, oh shit, you're much better company, and you're cheaper.
You can do that thing that I asked for with the other company, and they said no.
Pay, you know?
And then it's like when the service guy comes in and like, oh, well, you're gonna do this, right? No, no, I'm not gonna do that. That's not what we do.
But somebody last time told me that I could do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So and I truly believe, like, you know, when it's not you being the cheapest one, and it's
I
not,
used to get that at Best Buy a lot of times.
Yeah, it's not being the cheapest one, and it's not being the most expensive one. It's actually what kind of a service you're providing. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine, I'm trying to get him on a pod. When I get him in here, he's been super successful for the past 10 years doing roofing. He can talk to you a little more about this, as he's been in this world a little more. But to me, it's like, you know, not being the most expensive and not being the most cheap, being the most fair. I think that's what's really good about businesses. Fair.
I used to get that a lot when working at Best Buy. They would charge to put the screen protectors on the phones, right? Like when you would buy a screen protector, it was a $12 fee. And some people would do it for free. And then customers come in, well, they did it for free last time. Why are you charging me? That's not my problem. Yeah. I need to charge it. If I don't charge you, my manager's going to be pissed. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So, okay. So you have the cosmetic thing. You also have the cleaning. Now, the most important job that you have, you are a mom, right? Of 2 boys. Yeah. One is 5. The other one is almost 3. Yeah. So they're pretty young. Yeah. One is still running around and crying because you didn't give him the cell phone. The other one kind of understands what's going on, but still running around and crying. Yeah. So how do you, as a mom, because I'm sure viewers at home might be interested in it, how do you, as a mom, manage 2 boys, 2 businesses, and a husband? How does all that work?
We know.
I mean, he's pretty chill. Your husband is a pretty chill guy, and he helps a lot around the house. Yeah. A lot, you know, and I think you kind of split that. But again, because having children, to me, having one child is a full-time job, and then having the second one, it's like 2 full-time jobs. Yeah. And on top of that, you have all this other shit that you do. Not shit, but yeah. So how do you mesh all this together? How do you make it work? Do you have any tips or tricks that people can use, that, like, any shortcuts that you found that work really well?
Well, you know, if we're talking about things in the house, you got to take it day by day. You know, you get up, you make sure they eat, you make sure, like for Julian, he's 5, make sure he gets ready for school, he's off to school, he has his lunch, and, you know, as long as they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, everybody is bathing, and I can get whatever time that I can get to, you know, clean the house. But, you know, me and Randy, we work together to make it happen, you know. So, like, he knows if he gets home and it's laundry day, I'm in my room watching a show, and he's dealing with the kids until I can finish folding the clothes, because if not, Giovanni will go in there and they will both start jumping on the clothes. So it really depends, you know. And then when it comes to the work, you know, again, with the cleaning business, we take it day by day. If something comes up or if somebody needs supplies, I wait until he gets home, and then I'm like, hey, I gotta go, or whatever. Or just planning. You just gotta plan, especially for him. He has a lot of work, so I have to work around him. And now with the shop, it's really hard for me because I love being with my kids, but it is reaching to that time I am building up for our future. So they are gonna go into a little bit of after school. I'm looking into that right now for both of them. It's time. And I also need a little bit of balance in my life. And that'll bring me balance so that I can work, do what I like to do. And if I'm happy, I can be happier for them and, offer them a better me. So, yeah.
So we can pretty confidently say that your two children are a pretty good example of the first one was a little shy, and then the second one came out like the Tasmanian devil.
Yes.
We can confidently say that,
Yes.
right?
Julian, oh my God. I mean, he did have his moments when he was
Yeah,
little,
every
where
kid.
he would he would like hit. But I think that's
Terrible twos.
some kids either hit or they bite.
Right?
He never bit me, but he would hit me in the beginning. I mean, he didn't know. This kid was like, I don't know, a year old or even less. They just, they just learned that they
start
can
getting
do
frustrated
that.
and
Exactly, because they can't communicate or whatever. Giovanni, it's a little different because I don't, with Julian, I feel like he interacted a lot with adults. It was just us and him. And for Giovanni, sometimes it's like the things that I didn't let Julian do, like, he never took like the plastics out of the,
okay, I'm listening to you.
of the drawers, like in the kitchen. He never did that.
Uh-huh.
And now Giovanni does it, but I need a moment of peace so I can finish doing the dishes.
So you let
I
him-
just look at him and I'm like,
Let him
they
do it.
have like a sand area, in the backyard
Like a
right now.
sandbox.
Yeah.
And
It's not even a
honestly,
sandbox. It's just a sand.
one day Randy said, let them enjoy, let them get dirty. And I said, for real.
If we're in the
real.
backyard,
And that gave me so much peace.
if we're in
and
the
I'm
backyard
just like,
and
oh my
Gio's
God.
silent, he's in the sand area.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you know how I usually mess with Giovanni. I'll pick him up and then I'll tickle him, or like I'll mess with him and he laughs and whatever. So today I picked him up and went to tickle him. He knew I was coming for it, and I could see both of his arms went like this, and he made fists. I was like, "Oh man, he's gonna just deck me!" And what do you know? As I come close, wham! Both arms.
So, do you think a lot of people say that dynamic of the first one coming out, how it comes out, whatever, he or she, and then the second one's always like a little more like pushing your buttons, right? They say that it's due to
Ain't that the
because-
truth, Arthur?
Yeah, they said the same thing with. They say the same thing happened with me and my sister.
Mom. Let's see what she says about
They say the
that.
same thing happened with me and my sister or whatever. And let me guess, Randy is younger than his sister.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Oh
And
my God.
and they say that that's because the little one sees like where the buttons like how far they go, and he's like, well, I think they can go like a little further,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because they look at it as like, they see them do something and they're like, oh, this is normal. I'm going to do that. But since I'm doing that, this is normal.
Yeah.
Let me go a little further, see if that's normal too.
Yeah,
you know?
because I bet Julian like pushed the boundaries of what he thought was normal, but then like Giovanni gets to witness him pushing those boundaries and witnessing that, and then he goes, well, that's normal. Let
Yeah.
me go beyond that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exactly how it is.
So any tips or tricks for the viewers that will have like kids in the future, and anything you can add, especially the ones, because let's be honest,
Yeah.
majority of United States, they have two working parents. It's not that mom is usually at home, or mom has like aspiring dreams, kind of like yourself, doing something else on the side. Any tips or tricks where you can take this and take that and then mash it all together and make it work.
Yeah. Some days are better than others, for sure, when it comes to the kids. So it's hard to tell somebody, have patience, but the reality is, if you're struggling, walk away for 5 seconds. Walk out, go outside, breathe, do whatever you gotta do that will give you some peace. Have a piece of chocolate. I don't know. Whatever gives you like some type of peace, just walk away, because they will push your buttons to a point that you're like, what the heck am I gonna do? And before you do anything, just walk away. Just walk away.
If you were to go back, would you do anything differently?
She's already got the chance to do that. She's had one reset button.
Yeah, right. You said-
Honestly, I mean, I feel like everything that happens in life helps you grow. So whether that's with the kids, you just try to do better. Whether it's like, oh, I hit my son and I feel bad, like, he hit me or I didn't know how to approach the situation or what to do. Like, the next day, just try whatever you think. But there's no booklet.
Another thing was
Uh-huh.
that I saw that it was a trend of someone having one child and then a second was like on the first child, vamos a decir que like the bobo hits the floor.
Oh, the binky.
And
yeah.
then like it's like we'll wash it with
I was
soap
just
and stuff
thinking
and da,
about
da, da.
that.
And then the second one when the bobo hits the floor, it's like
Hey, 5-second rule.
here,
you go.
right? Did you find yourself doing that too? Like with Julian, you were like very like by the book, and then
Like
with
very
Giovanni,
helicopter
With
parent.
Yeah,
yes,
and then Giovanni, you were like-
even like with his clothes, like everything he had to be perfect, and he used to, when he was little, he used to
Now Giovanni
like
wears
throw
plaids
up a
with
lot and
stripes.
stuff. No, I mean, no, I try to
Randy
do,
dresses
I
him
try to
best.
do the same, but with Julian, he used to throw up a lot when he was a baby.
okay,
And he had a lot of acid, reflux and stuff. And I had like 5 outfits. Anywhere I would go, I had like 5 outfits in my bag. This kid had to be on point, like everything. And I even remember Emily's mom. I heard that she commented. She's like, "Oh my God, Julian is always like so like put together and cute." And yeah,
Little
but-
did she know you're on outfit number 7
but
for the
with
day.
Giovanni, it's like, yeah, exactly. But with Giovanni, it's like, oh, you ate that pizza. Oh, it's dirty. Oh, it's okay. I mean, it is. You just gotta keep going. You just gotta keep moving. You don't have that time anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Time is a luxury.
I'm sure with
these
Julian
days.
you had the giant diaper bag. With him, you have that tiny clear bag.
Huh?
That I'm sure with Julian you had the giant diaper bag. With Gio, you have that tiny little.
Oh
clear
yeah,
backpack.
you can see it right there. It's a tiny ass bag.
oh that's all. That little bag is all you
Yeah,
bring
there's
around?
one diaper and some wipes. That will solve anything, especially wipes. Hey, wipes will not only help the kids, but it could help many people. Believe me.
You know, in a pinch, that
I'm
could
like,
be a
hey,
shower
a
too.
wipe.
What kind of
In a
shower do
pinch,
they
wipes
call?
can turn into a shower.
They call
The
that a kind of
substitute.
shower. I forgot what it is.
Oh my God.
So let me ask you this: so who would you say is the disciplinarian at home, you or Randy?
I spend with them the most time.
Mm-hmm.
So
When I say disciplinarian, I don't mean the most time, meaning like who's the one that, let's say, they're being little, running around, being little the Tasmanian devils, doing things. Who's the one that comes in and just kind of looks at them or just kind of says, hey, and they kind of stop doing.
definitely Randy.
Okay.
Because for me, I guess they know what to expect from me at this point, and that's something I was talking to their doctor about. And it's like they don't know what to expect from dad. They know what to expect from mom. And that's exactly, what happens. Because I'm like, hey, don't do this. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on, whatever. And then until I'm like, and then now Julian is like crying because I screamed at him. Because he wasn't expecting that. Because I try not to, like, scream around them. But, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But with Randy, he says one time only. And he's like, well, most of the time, Giovanni
He pushes those buttons, right?
Giovanni will raise his finger and be like, and then he says something again, and Giovanni knows it's game on. You better.
So go ahead.
Well, my question is, if what you're gonna ask is related to this, go ahead, because my question is not related to the makeup thing.
Yeah. It's not makeup. It's
Mine
about
is
the same.
makeup.
Oh, yours is makeup. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, so now, we have a huge pandemic in United States where like 50% of the divorces end up in, 50% of the marriages end up in divorces, and a lot of kids are growing up without one parent or the other parent, right? How how important it is for you, do you think, to have Randy there, to have this family unit, to have the nuclear family unit, and how important do you think it's going to be for the future of the kids having both parents present there? Let's say having you that's so nurturing and taking care of the kids, and then having him come in, and when they don't listen to you, like, hey, Randy, and Randy just looks at them and they're just like, oh shit. Like, how important is that, the dynamic for your family, versus, let's say, if knock on wood,
Yeah.
if that wasn't the situation?
Single parent compared to like a single parent home, I guess. That's what you're trying to ask, right?
I mean, I think it is important because it gives them some type of mental stability. Um, and they see, for example, in my house, they see their dad, how how their dad works, and they look up to that. But they also see mom that's
For
also
sure.
trying to do something as well, and that's a great thing. They're getting to see both sides of the picture. So I feel like it'll help them in the future. Plus, they get to spend, time with both of us and do activities for them or whatever that may be. And sometimes a single mom might not have the possibilities of taking their kids to a certain place. And for us, especially, for my kids, I just want to create this thing so that they can travel, learn about the world, different cultures, and thankfully us together. And I'm pretty sure a single mom can provide it, but for us, it seems it's a little more smooth sailing because we go and if he wants to go with the guys or whatever that happens, I'm with them, or we don't have to think of leaving them anywhere else. Now with opening the shop, well, that's gonna be a little different, but you know they still have that from us.
Yeah.
So I
So
think that's
so
good.
what you basically from my gathering is like it's super important. You think it's super important for your family to have not only the male presence there, but also the female presence. So both together, you come together and you make this work. And without each other, that would not really coexist, or it wouldn't work the same way. Is
Yeah,
that about what
of
I'm
course,
saying?
it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same.
Okay. So to all of you guys out there, two parents are better than one. But so I had another question that was right up that alley. Oh, so you know how back in the day, you were with Randy, and Randy being younger and you being younger, he was, from what I understand, he could have been a little bit more reckless, and now he's a little more tame. Back in the day, he was a little more reckless, but that's not the question. The question is, have you gotten little less? Have you gotten more tolerant to the stuff that he does, to when he pisses you off, because you have the children together, because you have the family, before the children and after the children? Have you become more tolerant about things that are happening on daily life, where you like get mad at him, you just want to like, man, I want to smack you, or
Yeah.
have you gotten
So
a little more lenient on things?
yeah, I mean, well, priorities change. That's the first thing. The other thing is you have to choose a time and a place for certain things. So so that changes as well. Um,
So basically what I'm saying is, you take a little more shit from him and he takes a little more shit from you because you have the family and the kids. So the kids kind of taught you to be a little more
not
lenient.
necessarily. I will just hold off what I have to say until later.
Uh-huh.
But he's still gonna get it, if you know what I mean. Like I'm still gonna, if at that moment, it's not a time to argue or whatever, we'll just wait for later, and later we'll talk about that.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, I mean, it's. I think we do pretty good. So
Yeah.
I have,
And the reason I'm asking these questions, because
Mhm.
looks like Alex, some reason, has something to say always. The reason I'm asking these questions is because you being an entrepreneur, this takes up a lot of time from your day. And him being an entrepreneur, this takes up a lot of time out of his day as well.
Yeah.
But then you also have the kids, and then you also have to make sure your household is doing good. So these two things are kind of interconnected. So I think you made these decisions by clearly thinking about, listen, if I become an entrepreneur, this is going to take a lot of time, but I have a
Yeah.
family. So you had to adjust things in your relationship to be able to do these ventures that you have. And this is the reason why I'm asking these questions, and I think this is a big part of it. So yeah, you could have chosen to do your 9 to 5 or whatever it is, 8 to 4, whatever it is,
Yeah.
get your couple of pennies, and then have a job security per se, in quotations, and then call it a day. But yet you decided, you know what, I'm going to take the harder road. I'm going to become an entrepreneur. Hopefully I'm going to become successful. I'm going to push it to the max, to the
Yeah.
limit. At the same time, I'm going to have a family, 2 boys that are running around sometimes
Yeah.
crazy and stuff like that. And I think this is super important to mention these things, because a lot of people don't understand how difficult it is to be your own boss,
Yeah.
to have bunch of clients that are your boss technically, because
Yeah.
if they're not happy, your business is not going to do.
Exactly.
And at the same time, having two little daredevils running around at home, and also being your boss.
Yeah.
So
Emily, I need you back, because this is a makeup question. I wanted to ask: are there any? And makeup isn't necessarily something new, right?
Right.
Are there any idols in like the makeup world, or like people that are like the Michael Jacksons or
Yeah.
the Muhammad
Yeah.
Ali of that world? You know what I mean? What
Yeah.
are those? Who are those people? Because I
Yeah, so for example, when I did my training, my first makeup training, I did it with this girl. She's from Australia, and women go big with their makeup in Australia.
Is it?
Like a lot? They wear a lot
It's
of
more
makeup.
extravagant.
They're all about like tanning beds, and just they have to be tan all the time, and their makeup is beautiful. I mean, it's such an art. And when I did the class with this girl, I also found another girl in Australia. Her name is Sherry Morris, and me and Emily. Oh my God, her makeup is beautiful, beautiful makeup, especially for what we like to do, event makeup, and it's just seriously beautiful. We also like to follow Michaela Nogueira, which is she's on TikTok, and this girl got
I think
super
she does
big.
YouTube too, though, right?
I'm not sure. I think
think
so.
she
I think she
might,
has a
yeah.
YouTube channel as well, but her TikTok, it's like
Well, can you
The
go a little
place.
more in detail? What is a event makeup versus regular makeup? Because you said it's event makeup, so I'm assuming that's something a little more.
So at the end of the day, it depends on what the client wants. Some people don't like, a lot of color, or they don't want glitter. But with this girl, she goes all out. Like, her makeups are very pigmented. A lot of cut creases. If you don't know what a cut crease is, like, I'm gonna take my glasses off. So like, if you see a girl and like you see the dark here, but then you see like a cut that goes right here, like a lighter. It's not. It's,
I'm gonna be honest. I never
You-
pay
you have no
attention.
clue.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I don't
Okay.
even.
It's
I don't
all
even
good.
know what you're talking
But anywho, her cut
Yeah,
creases.
Miggy, pull that up on a
Pull up?
a screen so everybody can see what they're talking
And
about.
honestly, that would be a great idea, because
What's it
I
called
get
again?
You
A
can
cut
pull up
crease.
I
the
still get
Instagram
that
Cut
question.
crease, eyeliner. Eyeshadow. Or, I
cut
don't
crease
know.
eyeshadow.
You should have been here like
And-
30 minutes ago. They were
Yes,
warm.
it's good that he's pulling it up, because still till this day I still get
You're
questions
not-
from
you're not
women,
pointing
and they
out
don't
what
know
it
what a
is.
cut crease is. So this is a cut crease.
Oh, how there's
Oh,
a
I
solid
see.
Your
line.
eyes is cut. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, so where how there's a solid line
And
differentiating
sometimes
between the
people
crease right
do
here.
more of like
Okay.
a subtle cut crease, so it's not so sharp. But yeah, so this is that's exactly that's a cut crease. There you go.
Okay.
You know what? I have a very interesting question. I
Uh-huh.
have a very interesting question about makeup.
Yeah.
My understanding is the different skin color.
Mm-hmm.
So someone that has a darker skin color, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot, because a lot of times you'll see and somebody did a bad makeup job, and their skin looks ashy,
yeah, it
Yeah.
looks gray.
Yeah.
looks gray or ashy. How do you attack that without giving away the sauce? You know what I mean? Because you are, you know what I'm
Don't
saying?
Don't give away the
'Cause
Yeah.
you
secret
want people-
recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
no,
give
no,
away
no,
the
it's
full
fine.
recipe, but
It's
just
fine.
kind of like touch.
So you gotta think of, like me, for example, I went to cosmetology, and it's all about the color wheel. So you gotta think of, how do you neutralize that color?
Close the screen.
Oh, close the screen.
So, ¿cómo era? What was
Neutralize that color, the ashiness.
Oh yeah. So we look at the color wheel. You gotta look at the color wheel. Like, what's her underlying pigment color? Like, is it more like, on the purpley, like blue side, or is it, whatever it is? And a lot of women also have like hyperpigmentation in this area, so you want to tackle that. So sometimes you will put like a
there you
base
go.
right underneath that, and then you go in with the.
This a little bit
Oh,
more.
there you
we
go. Yeah.
Like, for example, you can use color correcting.
Yeah.
So for like my under eyes, I use a peach color that once you put the foundation over it, it helps cover that. Or for redness, you'll put green under the foundation to help cover the redness. So it's the same thing what she's saying.
There's a
You can
science
use
to this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you use color corrector, so the opposite of the color wheel
Yeah.
to cover up whatever.
Oh,
it
so
is.
you actually like do the whole color? Do you have like, I don't know, like, this is being completely ignorant. Do you have
Uh-huh.
like these little color things that you
No.
bring up to the face to see
Some
what
people
matches?
do. Some
Yeah.
people do. And thinking about that, like, people are getting like lip blush, so it's like a lip tattoo. I actually got it done myself, and you got to
Ooh,
think about that
A
specifically.
lip tattoo.
Yeah, I actually got it done.
Like, if
But
you don't
isn't
say
that-
anything, I would never notice that.
But
Like, I
what
would
it-
not know. I
doesn't
would
that-
think it's natural.
so
Did
so if
that
you
hurt?
look at my
Like-
lips, they have like this little pinkish tone. I just have just chapstick on.
Oh, I would
And
not even
my
fucking
top
know.
lip was so pale, it was kind of like almost like my skin tone.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she evened that out. But I gotta get it redone. It hurt a lot, so I'm thinking about it.
About getting it redone, or you
Getting it
thinking about
redone.
not getting it
Question.
No,
redone?
I'm gonna get it done. I
When you
just
s-
have to
When you said
Mentally
tattoo
prepared.
lips, doesn't that hurt like hell? Like you have a million
Yes.
nerves.
So
Like
especially because when you do the first pass, it's better to do it without numbing, especially like the outline, because the skin changes when you put numbing cream on. So you want to keep it at its like most natural state, so that whenever you do that very sharp line,
Y'all better take out all your pens and pencils and write the shit down, right? She's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this. Go
yeah.
ahead.
So ¿cómo era?
When you
So
do the
the
first
outline.
line,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
skin
So the
changes.
outline. So yeah, and the same thing happens with the brows. But the brows, when you're doing the outline, because you're just starting, it just feels like a little scratch in the beginning. It could get a little bit more.
So yeah, because the needle doesn't go that deep, so it's not
Yeah.
like the actual. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't have
but the
tattoos, so I don't know
lips,
what it feels like.
If somebody has low pain tolerance, I do not recommend getting your lips done unless that person is working with a pre-numbing, which there is, like for people that do eyeliner, they do pre-numbing because it hurts. It hurts in the eyeliner hurts.
I
So
bet.
they do pre-numbing so that the person's not in pain. So
bet.
it just depends on that numbing gel that they're using, for example.
You have a question? Because before you go, I want to do a quick announcement here. I'm just looking at how many people we have online again watching the show. Thanks, guys, for all the support you're giving us. We have 14 likes
I
and
got you,
14
Damaris.
viewers. And if you haven't liked the show yet or the video yet, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. But
who are some people that you look up to for makeup?
honestly, now Blanca has introduced me to everybody she was mentioning, because before, I mean, I knew Michaela from TikTok, just scrolling, I had seen her, but like I had no idea of any of the people that she took the classes with, like, because I started doing makeup just watching YouTube videos. So like Jaclyn Hill, Nikki Tutorials, Patrick Star.
Oh, Nikki
like, all
Tutorials
these-
big. Nikki Tutorials.
Yeah, like all the
she's
people
big.
that are just YouTube famous. Like
Those
that's
were the
where
names that
learned
I only
everything.
knew from when you watched your YouTube and were doing your videos. Like
Yeah, those were the people
Now I know
where
them
I
too.
learned
Patrick
everything.
Star.
Yeah.
Not Patrick Star, but what?
Yeah, there's a Patrick Star.
Patrick Star, Jeffree Stars.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Patrick. I'm thinking when you say
Yeah, there's
Patrick
a-
Star, I'm thinking
So
SpongeBob.
let me ask you
I knew
Let me ask you
Jeffree
this.
Star was the one I knew. Sorry.
knowing, like, obviously, following the tabloids and things like that, some of these famous people, they have their own makeup lines, right?
Yeah.
What it takes for you to get to that level. Now, I'm not saying, I'm hoping, and I know you're going to get to that level, but what it takes to get to that level where you can get your own makeup line going, where you can get these things done, where now you're branching out to different type of endeavors, not just having a salon
Yeah.
that is brick and mortar, kind of like, because let's be honest, now we're moving all on the internet. Shopping is done on the internet, and to reach much more clients, I think
Yeah.
one good way to do it is to create your own makeup line. How do you go about it? How do you select good products? How do you?
Yeah. So one thing brings another. So the first thing that people do is be consistent on social media, especially for these influencers that we're talking about that have their brands. Be consistent, post your videos, be truthful, which is why the biggest TikTokers that do makeup have gotten to where they are, is because they were being truthful about
Like
these
honest?
makeups that they were trying. Yeah. And then, I mean, once you get to that level, like research, and it is a headache when you're thinking on finding the right place to do your makeup, to like make your makeup and stuff, whatever. But just research. But then again, once you get to that point, you probably have places that are reaching out to you. Like, hey, we can offer you.
Let's put your name
hey,
on it.
we do it for Kylie Cosmetics. We would like you to do your own line as well. We can give you good pricing or whatever that may be. You know what I mean? But it's like I say, one thing brings the other. Pretty much, success.
So slowly, one step at a time.
Do you
Yeah.
think that social media will be the sole drive to getting your name out there?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, because you like if I'm not doing it through social media, I mean, then again, I do also believe that word of mouth is a big thing.
But that's local, though, right?
Yeah, no,
Because
no.
how
Yeah.
much of a clientele can
Yeah,
you
that's dealing with
accumulate?
your local
But
And
clientele.
then
not only
again,
that, that's your
yeah,
time too. How much time can you spend per person?
right,
Because then your time becomes the actual
right.
commodity.
But that also depends on what you want to do. Like that's my target.
Do
My
you
target is local people.
Do you, I was just about to ask you
Uh
that.
huh.
Not necessarily what your target is, but what do you think you can make the most potentially make the most money with? Because I'm assuming the brand deals can be very big, but we all know these big companies end up screwing you over when they want to do something like that, right? Do you think that focusing on building a like good local clientele would be like the more like beneficial route to go to? Like, for example, how we are talking about making sure like you're on the higher end side, you know, like I only take 15 minutes, like how you were talking about
Yeah.
earlier, and getting that higher end, high end clientele versus focusing on just social media and brand deals. Because I feel like you could do one or the other, right?
Exactly, exactly. So if I know that if I was posting more, I would have obviously a lot more followers. But also every time I post, my hashtags are local, most of them. Um, yeah, I mean, I could tell you 98% of my hashtags are local. I love the Berg or Stampede, you know, eyebrow Stampede,
Gotcha.
makeup. Or or what I do is that I think has worked a little bit as well is I do like Stampede wedding photography. Because if you're looking for a wedding photographer, you're going to be looking for makeup as well. So that'll show up, that way as
That's
well.
smart. That's smart.
Yeah, yeah. And and also, well, I mean, it is social media as well, but like Facebook groups, getting into Facebook groups, it's really good because you can get into Facebook groups that are like photographers and models, and sometimes they let you post like once a week about what you do as well. Also, like wedding, like wedding groups as well, like Stampede or just in the Tampa Bay area. So that helps a lot as
And
well.
also one contributes to the other, 1,000%.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now I could be
Exactly.
wrong here, but I think we're in. So YouTube has been there for a long time, but I think
Mm-hmm.
we're in the age of YouTube right now. Because I think before that we were in the age of Instagram, and now everybody's using Instagram as a tool. And I think now we're slowly getting into age of YouTube, and YouTube has untapped
I like the
potential.
way that Andrew Schultz put it. He was the comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying Netflix pays millions of dollars
Mm-hmm.
to produce this movie or Netflix original, then only to have to excuse me, distribute it to the people that pay the $10-12 a month,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we have all seen that Netflix is going down over years,
Yes, it has.
right? Then you have YouTube that costs $0 to produce this content right here, $0 to put it out, $0 to view it, and
I don't know
you
about
can
$0
view.
to produce.
Well, no,
yeah, not $0 to produce, but we don't have to pay any licensing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
the entry. I know what he's talking about. The entry level to this type of content as a producer, as a creator of content, is very, very low,
Yeah.
as opposed to Netflix paying millions of dollars to an actor or whatever
Oh,
it is
yeah.
to
and
get.
and not only for a producer, for a content consumer,
Mm-hmm.
Netflix has millions of hours of content for free, and it's not just movies and TV shows. It's guides, it's music, it's everything. Podcasts. You don't see podcasts. You don't see music. You don't see a bunch of these things that YouTube has that Netflix doesn't.
Yeah.
Plus, I think this is more.
is like, and now they're attributing to the shorts, right? When they
Mm.
saw Instagram, well, TikTok, the big one, right, picking up on this small, short-term content. I don't know if y'all say
Yeah.
call it, but
But it has
they
to do
picked
with
up
the
on that
attention
too with the
span.
shorts.
Yeah, it has to do with attention span. I definitely believe like the short form content is probably your number one driving force to your
To
whatever
get
it
eyes,
is that you have.
to get eyes on you, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think short form content is going to be it. Like, bite-sized pieces, get enough of them in there, and when they do visit your website, they see bunch of shorts like, oh, you
Is
know what,
that-
I like this
think
person, let me
about it. Think
subscribe.
about it. Like the clips and shorts that we make, right? Of either it being of us arguing or either of us somebody saying something informational, like a fact or a story or whatever it may be. You clip those up, right? And they're 20, 30, maybe 60 seconds at max,
Yeah.
right? How many of those can you consume in an hour? 60 or more, because a lot of them
Yeah.
aren't 60 seconds. They're usually 15 to 30 seconds long versus sitting down and watching a show or a movie that might be informational, but at the end of the day, how much information can you consume in that time compared to something like Netflix.
Yeah,
The different kind of information, like
I believe,
insane.
yeah, no, I agree with you, but I also think it's a double-edged sword. The short content is double-edged sword because, so let's say we're producing the shorts, we're creating the shorts, and we know exactly what shorts to put out there to get the message across, right? But someone can come in, grab your video, chop up your video, make a short out of that, and then present it in a way that they want you to view
Yeah,
it
in a
or
negative
see
way.
it. You know what I mean?
Take
So
the
it's a-
stuff out of context.
yeah, take the stuff out of the context. A double-edged sword, but I think providing consistent value, whether it's with makeup, whether it's content creation, or whatever it is, consistently
Value
providing
is the word.
value, or consistently entertaining, I think is the future of content.
And providing value. People are going to follow whoever that gives them value, and whether it's somebody telling them how to do their makeup or what makeup's better than the other. Oh, sorry. And and the same thing applies for everything. If I need anything, I go on TikTok and I search best Amazon whatever.
Why
And I-
TikTok?
Huh?
Why not YouTube?
Because I'm getting like a little kid. Like little kids, like they need, like their attention is like so short.
Yeah.
I'm getting just like,
YouTube videos are too long, too much instructions.
oh my, yeah. But I do go on YouTube if I'm looking for like tutorials on.
That's why I strongly believe watching YouTube videos at 2 times the speed, bro.
Yeah.
Just pop that 2 times the speed.
When you need something more detailed, you go on YouTube.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
If you need like something quick to the point, you go on TikTok.
yeah,
And I feel like it's easier to find it because, like, yeah, there's the YouTube Shorts now, but since you can't write that much in the description,
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to find that short specifically
So
that
you
has the
can't-
information you need.
So you can, when you're creating a short on your phone, you cannot. You're only limited to 100
So I think
letters.
it's 120 or
Well,
no,
100
yeah.
letters over. But when you do go into YouTube Studio, you have the entire description they can put together 5,000 words. But you got to also remember, a lot of people don't realize shorts actually, to create a short, it takes you a lot longer than to create a clip. Because with a clip, you chop up the clip, like, whatever it is, 10 minutes, 20 minutes,
It's
whatever it
A
is.
to B.
A to B.
The points
And
are
done.
A to B. When you're making a short, you're trying to compact the information, so you have to this sentence then cut, this sentence then
Well,
cut.
not only
sometimes,
that, it's not only that. So basically, you take the short, right, and then you can patch them up as well. But let's say you took a short and it's 30 seconds and it's continuous, right? So you don't have to patch up. During that short, your camera angles change and things like that, and different people are talking. So you have to chop up the video, bring in the focus to the person that's talking about, and then make sure the words are matching. Make sure your animation is matching. Like, there's a lot more into it. Like, a 30-second short could take you like an hour to do.
yeah.
Versus, you can spend 1 hour and then chop up the entire, let's say, 2-hour podcast,
Yeah.
chop it up into clips, and then throw it on there all within an hour and have 5, 6, 7, 8 clips ready to go. But with shorts, it's a lot more taxing, right? So,
Yeah.
but I think shorts is it. You do, depending where you drive in your traffic. Let's say you're driving it to TikTok, then or Instagram, right? Wherever you want your traffic to drive, you use all the other social media outlets to
I wonder.
push it towards.
I
that.
wonder what's like the main driving force for us to, gear towards this short-term content, because when TikTok and Reels, before Reels happened, but TikTok was already a big thing, I was still mostly consuming all my content on Facebook and watching long videos, watching like
Yeah.
10 to 5 to 15 minute videos, kind of like you do on YouTube or whatever. But then they switched to that also.
Yeah, because Instagram. So TikTok started that, and Instagram. Oh, we're losing to TikTok. So they picked it up and threw it on Instagram, and then because it's all Meta, he's like, well, why not do it on Facebook as well? So Facebook Shorts started picking up as well. Now, to make the content, and what I noticed about myself,
What I'm wondering is why did everybody else switch from Facebook to TikTok while people, like, not everybody else, but a lot of people switch from Facebook to TikTok, or that kind, not Facebook to TikTok, but that kind of content, which is what all there was, to that short-term content. But then there was people that stuck to the old term until it was available on the same application. You see what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I didn't switch to TikTok. I haven't switched to TikTok. I still
neither
don't
have I. Yeah.
I still don't consume TikTok, but I do still consume the same kind of content, being reels, right?
So-
So I didn't switch to that until Instagram or Facebook themselves started offering it.
Yeah.
So I've done a little bit of digging on this, and this has to do with the dopamine hit that you're getting every 30 seconds. Every 30 seconds, you're getting dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, versus sitting there and waiting, because we don't have patience. Humans don't have patience.
That's
You
so
want the
sad.
answer, you
But
want
yeah,
it
it's
quick,
true.
you want to be entertained, all within 30 seconds, right? So that's why this content took off so quickly, because you can quickly flip through a bunch of stories all at the same time. So you're getting a lot of dopamine hit.
I
and
just
think
like
it's
how the
biological.
content can be switching back and forth from completely
Yeah.
different things. Like you could just be watching something about cars, and then the next thing you know is about space, or next thing you know is about psychology, or hats, or sports, and it's just like boom, 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 boom,
Yes.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, so, and I think shorts are here to stay. And plus, you also have to look at the demographic of people that are using the content, right? For example, TikTok is very heavy. TikTok is very heavy with female demographic, where YouTube is heavier with male demographic, right? So it depends what demographic you're looking for, right? If it's male demographic you're looking for, you probably want to go on YouTube and then blast it through YouTube. If it's a female demographic, then start with TikTok. However, you have viewers on all of these social media outlets, and I think it's very important to incorporate all of the social media outlets into one place, and then drive the traffic where you want it to go, right? So in your case, it's Instagram. Then you do your YouTube shorts, you do your TikTok shorts, and then it goes to Insta. But if it's Insta and TikTok, you drive it both to that, and I
We
think
have a panel for talking about makeup and entrepreneurship with two women, and you want to talk about cars?
who's this?
I don't know. Who
Can we
that is.
talk about cars?
Yeah, it's Alejandro. That's my
Oh,
favorite.
Shayla's boo.
Yeah.
Why would,
Yeah, right. With two
Next
with two
time.
women.
Next time.
no, it's nothing have to do with that. We can talk about cars with girls, but I don't think that's the subject of today's
No, no,
today's
no,
show.
no,
You know what I mean?
no.
Yeah,
So,
it's not a
when do
car
you-
show.
When do you have planned to open? Or plan?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So it's been a long time coming. You learn so much, along the way. But hopefully March will be the month, for sure.
March?
Yeah.
Nice. And who's doing
Nothing,
all the
it's
work
slow.
inside the shop?
So thankfully it is a new build.
Oh, nice,
So,
nice.
There are some things that Randy has to do, but once we get the place March 1st, then he'll get in there and do whatever that has to be done. But even though we don't 100% have the place, we're already, I've had a key since November.
Oh, no
so
kidding.
I still go in there and we do whatever we can.
Wait, are you paying for all this time while you
No,
have the?
no,
No,
no.
you're not. Oh, that's a good thing.
So it
Yeah,
starts March
yeah.
1st.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you gonna do like a little soft opening? Are you gonna do for viewers?
Yeah.
Are you gonna do a grand opening? How's this
Yeah,
whole thing
so
gonna
I
work?
am going to do a grand opening, maybe not right away, but definitely in the month of March, for sure. Yeah, I don't, because I know if I don't do it the month of March, it's going to be like, oh, next month and next month.
So just to review
in
again,
March.
you've got basic hairstyling, right? If you want like a basic cut, but mostly
Yeah.
like blow drying and styling.
Yeah,
You've got makeup.
yes.
You've got wax. Are you doing full body wax?
Yes, that is correct.
The whole motherfucking thing.
The whole thing. Yeah, I not guys.
Oh, I got
Not-
questions
not
about
guys,
this.
I like that one.
I got
like-
questions about
No,
this.
Why not? Huh? Why not?
So some people do it. I personally don't feel comfortable waxing some other guy's balls.
There you go.
So,
High five right there, laid
yeah,
out.
yeah, no, I'm
You can
good.
do your
I'm good.
armpits or like your
Especially if they're
legs.
sagging. Like, you gotta like hold it.
Yeah, you know what you do? You have a special room that the guys have to go in. Like, oh no, you have a cryo chamber.
Hey, nothing wrong.
You have a cryo chamber that they have to go in. So they,
Yeah.
And you have Randy waiting on the other side.
Randy's the one that waxes
No.
the balls, so you don't have to do
No,
that.
I'm good. There's some women that do it, and props to them, but
So,
not me.
Let me ask you this. Now, I hope this doesn't happen, but I've seen some videos where a girl goes to wax and all this stuff. Next thing you know, when they go into this position, goes a little bit of prrrt, and a little piece flies out. How do you deal with this kind of situation?
Well, I mean, it hasn't.
Yeah,
happened.
right. Like,
It
how do
hasn't
you-
happened
See,
to me. but
no, that's extreme, right? That's extreme. You're someone sharding on your table, right? That's
Yeah.
extreme. But what's
You
not
adjust.
extreme that I know you're gonna have to deal with, I'm sure, it's people with bad hygiene. How do you deal with
Yeah,
that?
how do you deal with that? Like, you come in and it smells like a fish market there.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
man.
I'll give you. You want to know how I deal with that? I have cleaned the nastiest toilets in my life.
I have too.
Okay,
I have too, but
I
that's
have
not the same
bathed-
thing.
I deal with poop every day with my kids. Like,
Your own children. That's
I
not
get
the same
it. I
thing.
get it. But also, I worked at a medical office before, and sometimes you can smell the person from the other side of the counter. and you don't even have to be.
That's
you know,
what I was thinking, right? Like when I worked at
So-
Best Buy, I remember like people would come in. It's like they're on the other side of the freaking counter, and I can smell it. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
But I
shit.
assume if they're coming for a Brazilian wax, they're gonna be conscious of that. And they're gonna
I-
make sure they
You would
clean before
assume-
going.
You would assume.
You would assume so, but a lot of people are not.
Yeah, yeah,
A little bit of dingleberry don't hurt no one.
yeah. No.
Ew. That's disgusting. So I didn't get to finish though. You got blow drying and simple cuts. Right?
Yeah.
So just very basic, right?
And treatment, hair treatments.
Oh,
as well.
treatment as well.
Yeah.
So, like, somebody wants to do like a perm or relaxed or something like that, or
hair
or-
treatments. I mean, with like if the
Or
hair
like-
is compromised and the hair is just about to fall off, then I will have an option for that.
So do you? So
But wait. Let me finish.
Okay.
The drying, the wax, and what are the other things? The eyebrows,
Lashes,
the
eyebrows?
tattooing.
lashes, eyebrows. Okay.
Yeah, and lashes as well. I'm personally not gonna be doing lashes, but I will have a girl that.
So those
that
are
does
the
lashes.
5 things. Right?
Yes. Mhm.
now let me ask you this: do you have some sort of special deals with certain brands that you truly believe in, and you want to mention? You don't have to, but do you have some sort of a
Yeah,
deals
because everybody
already
always wants
lined
to know,
up?
like, oh, what brand maybe should not should, but what brand do other people recommend? Because
That's really hard because
It all
with
depends
hair,
on your hair, your
just
skin,
the
your
same
whatever.
thing with
skin and stuff.
yeah, with the skin, everybody's
depends on your
different.
type.
And I have seen, I have somebody that I've done her hair before, and I used, when I used to work at JCPenney at the hair salon, and I used every professional shampoo, conditioner, and she hated it. And she bought Suave or Dove, I think it was. That's what she liked. That's what was good for her hair. And that's the truth for everything. Also with foundation, a lot of people think like, oh, what foundation do you use? Like I had people ask me, what foundation do you use? Like if they want to get their makeup done, well, I use. It's not everything is not like the most expensive that you get from Ulta or Sephora. Right now, you can get good products from the pharmacy as well, and we've learned that with all these influencers that have shown that the products there's dupes and there's products that are even better than the one that costs $40 or whatever. So
And I actually heard somebody mention this the other day when when Rihanna did her Super Bowl performance,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
That she had a not scandal, but a thing that went down when she did her makeup, that they were testing it on monkeys or something like that. I don't know. I heard something
Well,
about
the
that.
majority of the makeup gets tested on animals, right? Like there's not a.
That's what I wanted to get into. So I've heard of girls saying like, oh, they make sure that they don't use product that was like
They
tested.
use cruelty-free ones.
Say again?
That they'll use cruelty-free ones.
Cruelty free. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what it is called. When did you see that become a thing, right? Because that wasn't a thing when like you started doing makeup, right? Or was
Yeah.
it?
no,
Back in 2012.
no, not at all.
Nobody gave a fuck, right?
Nobody cared. Nobody was. A lot of people were not doing like skin prepping.
Did you ever?
They were just like, oh, you're getting your makeup done. Here you go. This looks good.
Did you ever have customers request cruelty free makeup?
No, I have not.
No?
No, thankfully.
So let me ask you this: so how do they test with it? I mean, how do they test to see if this makeup is like it's not gonna give you allergic reaction? It's gonna be good for your skin. How do they? Is it human trials that they do? Like how does this go about?
I'm assuming at this point it's very scientific in the sense of like they probably have to do trials, but at this point they're breaking that shit down to probably what compounds specifically are going into
Yeah.
this, making sure that these aren't allergic to the general public, things like that.
I mean, also there's websites and companies that you can go to that they will pay people. They will pay people to try things. So I believe a lot of companies could be using that as well.
and this I think is a
They
good,
do that with medicine too.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think this
so-
is a good kind of segue to go into something I wanted to mention earlier today, but I didn't have a chance. But this is why it's so super important to go to somebody that actually knows what they're doing and they're using quality product, because there are a lot of products out there. The counterfeit market is huge. But the problem with the counterfeit market is they're using shit products to make the counterfeit goods, right? And when they're using shit products to make counterfeit goods, you might think that this whole palette of color, eyelash, shadow, whatever you bought, instead of paying, let's say $100, you bought it for 20 is the same thing. It's really not. You put
Have you
that
ever
thing
seen
on
that?
there,
Yeah.
and the next thing you know, your eyelashes are falling
Have
out.
you ever seen that? Like girls telling you like, oh well, yeah, I just get it from this place, so it's cheaper and whatever, and it's like maybe not the real thing, and
I mean, I haven't had that happen to me.
you never witnessed fake makeup like being sold or anything like that, or
I mean, I have seen like dupes. Like for example, for Christmas one year, somebody gave me an eyeshadow palette, and I opened it, and I'm like, this looks really familiar. Like, what palette does this look like? So I go and I open all my makeup palettes, and it was the exact same colors as another palette that I already have, like a higher brand one. Like in the same exact order, the same everything, just the palette was smaller. It was a completely different brand, a completely different name. And I mean, I don't know if that's considered like what you're trying to say, that it's like fake or whatever, but I don't know. It looked the exact same.
Because I saw like a special on it. I don't know if it was a Netflix special or a YouTube special, one of those things, and they were talking about the counterfeit products, especially that has to do with beauty and makeup, because I don't think guys realize how much more money girls spend on these items, and this is a huge part of their income that goes towards
I
this.
don't want to
Oh,
hear
yeah.
shit about me spending
yeah.
money on my games.
Yeah. So the point is that, when you're spending this much money, you're like, okay, well, where can I cut a corner? And then you end up cutting a corner, and then as I mentioned earlier, next thing you know, your eyelashes are falling out. You got this
Well, yeah,
crazy
you can't go and
reaction.
buy makeup off of like Wish. Like, that's not the safest thing. But like what she was saying
Or
earlier,
like
the
eBay.
dupes. Yeah,
Yeah.
the dupes is like there has been products that like are in the pharmacy now or at Walmart or whatever, drugstore products that are the same as these high-end ones, just a different brand. And
Yeah.
people will do like full face of dupes. So like on one half they'll use only makeup from Walgreens and the other side is everything from Sephora. And at the end you can't tell the difference. It's the
Yeah.
exact same.
But that's-
it's, like smells
but-
the same, everything.
But you're talking about a product that's, when you say dupes, you're talking about a product that is not like, let's say, counterfeit made in China
No, no,
specifically
no,
to
no,
cost
no,
less.
no.
This is what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah, you're talking
counterfeit
about,
shit
like,
that's
Wish
made in
makeup.
China or somewhere like
Yeah.
Pakistan or India.
Like someone's mother went and bought medicine off eBay.
My mom did that?
No, somebody's mother.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What is wrong with
And
I don't
damn near
know.
had to go to the hospital because, like, didn't she take more than what she was supposed to as well?
Oh my god.
I don't know what happened. I just know somebody told her to buy this medication because it's good for constipation,
Did
correct?
she listen to somebody that wasn't
So-
a doctor
Yeah,
about
so
medication?
she orders
I
them.
tell my mom all the time. and she
First
still
of all,
does it.
Oh my god.
It came in like a little Ziploc bag that looked like crushed up peanuts. Like, it was like just red flags, like, don't take it, don't take it.
Oh my god.
I don't know how many she took. I just know she basically like overdosed off of these.
Yeah.
Half of her face was numb. She
Yeah.
was hallucinating throughout the night. On top of their bed, like their nightstand thing where the
Yeah.
TV is, they have like a big clock and it's red. Throughout the night, she would look at that and she swore that she saw like the little lines of like the heart monitor thing at the hospital and could hear like beep beep like the little machine. Like she swore she was at the hospital.
So what you're saying? She had a hell of a night, huh?
Like
Oh
the
my
next day she
God.
spent. It was Christmas.
Eso
like
se llama
2 years
tremenda
ago.
nota.
She
Yeah.
spent the whole day on Christmas
That was
throwing
some, like,
everything
mushroom
up. Like,
stuff right
Yeah, right? She
was
just popped
horrible.
LSD.
Yeah, it's just
Quadruple dosed
and
it.
she
my
didn't
God.
tell anybody.
I can
about
hear
it.
sound. I can see sounds.
Oh my god, poor thing.
And she didn't want to tell anybody to not worry anybody.
Yeah.
But like half of her body or half of her face was like numb and
Oh my
yeah.
god.
So yeah, guys, the point of this conversation is go to a professional to get your makeup done, where you know they're gonna get quality product, something that's not gonna hurt you. And then I think another important part is when you do go to a professional, mention that you're allergic to XYZ because
Yes.
they can't read your
Yes.
mind.
It's
Yeah.
like when you see people go to a restaurant and
Mm-hmm.
they order something. It comes with peanuts. They eat the peanuts and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know it had peanuts in it." Oh yeah, that had. Well,
Oh
I'm
my God.
allergic.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
dumb motherfucker, be careful.
Now you need an EpiPen in your leg just because,
Oh my god.
when you go to places like this, tell them, hey, listen, I'm allergic to
Yeah.
this, to that, like
But I
don't
mean,
use this or don't
peanuts
use that.
Dude,
Like since it's such a big like allergen or whatever it's called, most places if like the food has peanuts, it'll have the little sign next to it,
Yeah.
like stating that it
but
has
dude,
it.
like one time we
How
had,
many of us read the description ever?
If
No,
you
never.
have allergies,
One time,
read the description.
Emily
you don't
was-
have allergies. So.
Emily was with us. We went out on a boat with a buddy of ours, and his Max is his little brother. Not Max. What's Marcos's little brother's name?
Brian.
Brian. My buddy's little brother Brian, who went out with us, and what was it? He ate peanuts, right?
I don't know. He
He ate something. He
and
had an allergic
an
reaction,
reaction.
and he was like bad. Like we thought we might have
He
to
had,
go
like,
back.
hives all
He
over
had
his
hives,
body.
and Emily's like, "Well, okay, don't worry." Like, she's like,
I
"Well,
had
let me."
Benadryl.
She had stuff on her, but she also stated, "Oh, well, should I have my EpiPen ready? Like, do you need it?" And he goes, "No, don't give me an EpiPen, because this apparently he's allergic as well to whatever's in EpiPens, and if we
Oh
would have gave him an
my
EpiPen,
Lord.
it'd fucking kill him." And we're like out on, we were probably like Egmont Key or something. Like, we were like out on that boat on an island. So next thing-
Egmont Key specifically, which is like
and next thing
Hard.
in my head, I'm thinking, this dumb motherfucker couldn't have stated that the moment. Like, that's like the first thing I would have said. Like, if I'm having an allergic reaction and something's happening, I'm like, yo, just so y'all know, whatever happens, do not stick me with an
Before I
EpiPen.
pass out.
Yeah, before I pass out, right? Because what if he would have passed out 5 seconds before saying that?
Yeah,
We would have stuck him with the EpiPen and killed the kid.
yeah.
Well, not only that, this dumb motherfucker should have, before eating something,
Right?
should have
Yes.
looked at
that.
what
Was the
what
first thing
fuck
we
you
all
eating.
we all roasted him about. Like,
Yeah.
you dumb sack of shit. Why did you eat that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's good to like educate yourself.
But you know what's funny? Like, I'm hypersensitive to vitamin C. Like, whatever it is. Like, if I overeat lemon or take vitamin C, I immediately, like, starts breaking out in, like, more sensitive areas in my body, right? So anytime I go out, and you all know I drink mostly, it's either whiskey on rocks or vodka soda.
Vodka
right?
soda, yeah.
Right? So when I go to the bars, I'll specifically tell them I would like a vodka soda with no lime. I can count on my one hand how many times somebody gave me a vodka
no
soda
lime?
with no lime in it.
Yeah, they always just put the lime.
Yeah, I think it's just automatic. They just toss it in there. But
Yeah.
but good thing is I'm just hypersensitive to it. I'm not
Yeah.
allergic to it. Like,
yeah.
I think I kind of have like the same thing with the lactose intolerant. I'm mildly lactose intolerant in the sense like I could, drink a glass of milk and I'm not gonna break out in hives or start swelling up, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the shits later. That's just
well,
that.
I think in
Yeah.
your body.
I know a couple people like that.
So
A lot of the essentials. Are
do you
like
know
that.
how the lactose tolerance came around? Like, it's not something that. So I think that 25% of the people in the world have lactose
I wanna look that
tolerance.
up.
I don't know the exact number. I think it's a smaller number. It's not most. But they're attributing that to when we domesticated cows and started drinking their milk. That's when we started developing lactose tolerance. So we're always pretty much been lactose intolerant, and now we're actually developing. It's not something that we're losing.
I don't know about that because isn't lactose in the same milk that like a mother would produce for their baby?
No, I think mother's
Yes.
milk is just. Is
yes.
it though?
Yes, I think
Because
so.
as a baby, you have the lactose tolerance. You have the lactase,
No, I think
which
it's
is
different.
the enzyme
It's
to
different.
break down.
No,
It's
but like
different.
I've seen kids
because
that are lactose intolerant can no longer be breastfed and they have to switch to formula because of it.
really.
Yeah, I think
So majority of young kids, young babies are okay.
The only reason why I say that is, when I was talking to my kid's pediatrician, at the end of the day, what you're giving the kids is what you're eating.
Yeah.
So it's
So, sorry to cut you off.
yeah.
Our bodies stop producing what's called lactase, the enzyme needed to break down lactose around late childhood. So we do have it to drink mother's
Correct.
milk,
Okay.
but we stop producing that enzyme because by mother nature we no longer need milk.
Correct.
Okay.
Now the thing is, there are people that do not stop producing it; they continue to produce it, and I think
That's
it's
something that we definitely like.
25% of the population. But what
That's
they're
me.
saying, for us to even develop the lactase, right, and then to develop the gene to continuously produce lactase, that came around when we started domesticating the cows.
Yeah, that makes sense. That
You
makes
know what I
sense.
mean?
If
So
Okay.
when you were like past that age and you continuously produce the lactase,
if naturally we're not supposed to continue to produce the lactase, which is what the enzyme, and then we start domesticating cows, not domesticating, but
yeah, that's what it was.
feeding on cows, whatever, and of course our body is gonna start, saying, well, we're continuing to produce milk. Let's continue to consume milk. Let's continue to produce this enzyme to process it.
Have you heard how people say, well, give milk to a cat?
What do you mean?
Like, cats like milk. You've heard that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're attributing to the same thing of cats having milk to when people started drinking the milk, so they would naturally give the milk to the cats. So the cats have developed that gene to digest the milk as well. But in reality, they're not designed to.
That's crazy.
The same thing as humans,
Yeah,
right?
because
lose
we
it
have
over
these
time.
common misconceptions that we're thinking about. Okay, mice like cheese, and that's how we're gonna catch them with cheese. But the mouse much rather eat on a grain than cheese. You know what I mean? So that there are these things that we think that are normal, but in reality, they're really not. You know?
Like I don't think dogs can really have milk, right?
It's not good for them.
When they're small, just like any
Oh,
other
yeah,
animal.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
I've
Just
seen
research.
dogs drink milk when they're older.
'Cause,
Back
like, I
in
remember one time my dog got into like some rat poison, and they gave him milk. I don't know if it's to make him like throw up or poop it out, or I don't know.
Who gave him milk?
My parents.
Oh, okay.
that had to be some Cuban thing.
So I don't know if it's like a sort of like laxative to make him get it out, or if I don't know what it does.
Because the
but-
first time I ever dealt with the dog having allergies is when I had my Shar Pei, and he was
Say
like purebred.
know.
Oh, so for milk, it's safe in small quantities.
Oh, okay.
For who?
For
dogs.
dogs. For
For
dogs.
So first time I ever dealt with the allergies, it was with my Shar Pei, because Shar Pei was purebred, and then I didn't realize how prevalent the allergies are, and the more purebred dogs get, you know what I mean. So every single friend that I have that has some sort of a purebred dog, this dog has allergies. He can't eat this, he can't eat that, he can't eat the third. But then you get a mutt off the side of the street, or at the pound, and these motherfuckers can eat, drink, whatever they.
Well, I think a
give
lot
it.
of that is
My
due to
dog
the
has
whole
allergies.
purebred thing. Is
The bottlenecking.
yeah, inbreeding stuff like that. That's where all those, sad to say, defects
Yeah.
start to
So
surface.
remember how I had that little tiny dog? You ever? I don't think you ever met the tiny dog Ishkan, the little rat terrier.
Oh, that your aunt had?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
he was bought from a puppy mill. We didn't know back then what puppy mill is, right? Neither one of us know it. So we went there and bought him as a gift to my grandma, right? To have like a little companion.
Your
and-
grandma got to live in the States?
Yeah, yeah.
I
yeah.
just found out this week. Ain't that something?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
she
no
was here.
idea.
She was actually, she traveled, she has more mileage traveling back and forth
That
between
doesn't sound
Lithuania
right.
than I do. And I've been
Wow.
traveling for the past couple of years with my work. You know what I mean?
Wait, so between going from here to Lithuania, she's traveled more than you have going to the States doing your
Pretty
auditing
much.
thing?
Like every 3 months or every 2 months, she would go there, come back. Go
Wow,
there,
doing
come back.
that with that age, that's
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
That's
And
annoying.
she did it because she lived a little bit with my uncle, and then she lived a little bit with us. But the thing was, when we got this puppy, like the puppy looked perfect, had all the AKC paperwork, they had the lineage and everything. Somebody down the lineage was like winners of the shows, this and that. And then as this puppy grew, he started developing, and
Yeah, I remember what
underbite.
he looked like.
he had this
We remember him.
he had this jaw that was like sticking out like this. You could literally like smell his teeth because he wasn't keeping it in his mouth. So he developed like issues with the teeth and halitosis and stuff like that. But yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember him.
yeah, it was a cool
You gotta
little
love
shit.
dogs. You've witnessed this with your dog, bro. Like I remember, I
Rat
bought.
terrier too.
I
Yeah.
remember, yeah, right.
They're
I
fun.
I bought Nala, and like within like a month or two, she got into poisoning. Them, somebody left in
Oh, I
the
remember
yard
how
or
they
the
pump her
behind the
stomach.
bar. I'm out fishing, and I get a call of, "Oh, your dog ate poisoning," and I go, "Okay." In my head, right away, it clicked like, "Oh, she's already dead."
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought when you told me my dog ate rat poisoning. And then she's like, "Oh, I took her to the vet. This and this." And
Lynette
she had,
took her to the vet,
yeah,
right?
Lynette took her to the vet. I think she called me afterwards just to go like, "Oh, you owe me $380 for pumping your stomach, but your dog's fine."
Oh my lord.
Oh, you want to hear something crazy? So my uncle, after we left Lithuania, he bought another Shar Pei, and then after that he bought another Shar Pei, and then now he has 2 little Pomeranians, right?
They're so cute.
I think the second Shar Pei or the third one, you know how they have those rubber toys that you stuff them with food and they can
call
play
them
with it?
toys.
One of these assholes ate the freaking toy.
I saw a video literally today of a dog that had one of those balls literally lodged in his throat here, and they had to like pin him down and like force the ball out.
Oh my
So-
god.
Decent sized Kong ball.
So with him,
You know
That-
what that is, Blanca? The one that you put the treats inside.
Yeah.
so with him, he couldn't poop it out. So they had to take him to the doctor,
it's not
do an
going out.
open surgery,
That's not
and
going
take
out.
it out.
Yeah, that thing is not going out the other end.
Yeah.
It's getting stuck somewhere.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that it's It's crazy.
Dealing with dogs, you had to deal with.
Yeah.
Explain
She's
what happened to
still
your.
dealing with stuff.
Well, yeah, but
No,
you know what I
she's-
mean.
She's not.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Chico's
So,
pretty cool.
explain a little what happened with Chico.
So what we think that happened is that he had tetanus. So he
Well, you know he had tetanus, but you think what happened was with
yeah, I
how he
mean,
got
at
it.
the end of the day, it's not like they could test him for tetanus, but he had all of
The
the
sign.
Symptoms.
the signs,
symptoms.
the symptoms of tetanus, which one of them was he was paralyzed for like a month. So the last thing that if that happened, then we knew that we had to put him down, and it was that he would get lockjaw, because your whole body is tensing up, and then once your jaw locks, then it's not coming. There's no coming back from that. So it was tough because I was pregnant with Julian at the time, and I even passed out one day when the day that they actually told us that we could take him home, because we would take him every day to Banfield and leave him like inpatient, just like through the day, getting IVs and stuff, because he was barely eating and he went through so much. And the day they told us like, okay, it's time for you guys to take him home, and I think it was part of like the list of things that we had to do. And the worst thing it was when they told us that we had to inject him every day to give him fluids. So when I saw that, I was like, I just like passed out and almost passed out.
And now
pretty
Chico,
much.
and then he became blind, right? Like
So yeah,
after-
so then 2 years, I think it was like 2 years after, I see him at home and his eyes are like this, and I'm like, what is wrong with him? He has so much pressure in his eyes from glaucoma. And so that's when we realized, and the doctor said he'll be completely blind in about like 6 months.
You know what? This dog is blind, but he knows exactly where he's going, where he's peeing, what he's doing. He knows
Yeah.
how to jump on the couch. And when I tell you, this dog knows how to hump my leg.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time he sees me, he literally will come up to me and try to hump my leg without missing a beat.
We have a horny dog, that's for sure.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
though he's blind,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm not
I
giving
feel
up,
so
I'm not
bad.
dropping the towel.
We've kept the house the same to help him. The only problem is the kids and the toys.
Yeah, I've noticed when there's a lot of people,
kids,
like a lot
toys,
of kids playing.
and the
He'll
bikes and
bump into
stuff.
the
Or
and
yeah,
move
anytime we
things
have like
around.
you guys do a party at the house when people start moving chairs around like a
Oh
little
my
more out
God,
of
yeah.
normal, bro.
And one
I
of
feel
his
so bad.
eyes,
He
and
yeah,
he
he hit
in one
stuff
of his
so
eyes,
hard.
he hit it so bad that he had like is it a hematoma? Yeah. And that eye you can see like shrunk right away.
Yeah,
'Cause
it
like
looks
dead.
different. Yeah.
So in a way, it kind of the really bad of the hematoma actually helped the glaucoma, because now the eye is dead and he doesn't have any pressure any longer.
I need
so.
to see.
Also,
do
the
you-
other eye, he still has like pressure and it like still bothers
Very
him,
minimal,
technically.
very minimal. Yeah.
By any chance, do you guys still have the video when I had to grab Chico and Kevin go and give him the eye drops? Because when we went to go, remember? So
How long ago was this?
that
Like,
was
I'm trying to
a
think.
long time ago, like at least 2 years ago.
It's because we
More
went
than
on
that.
vacation.
Yeah, you guys went on vacation.
Oh no.
He wasn't born.
No, then I personally don't, because I tried to change the background on my phone to add a picture of both of my kids, and all of the pictures I had on my phone got deleted, and I didn't have them backed up. So
But why didn't you know you can go to the recently deleted and get them all back?
no, I couldn't. I
What
iPhone
happened?
said that it was dead, done.
What the
Yeah.
hell?
So
Maybe
what
your
happens
storage is
is
full.
the
Probably like
phone,
a reset or
my phone
something.
got caught up in like this loop, so it kept like
Cool.
you
Correct.
know,
To
like
reset
rolling and
everything,
rolling, and then
restart.
what I realized was my phone just like the next day I wake up in the morning and the phone is still rolling, and
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
what's going on? So luckily Randy had WhatsApp on the computer, so he's like messaging himself. I'm like, hey, my phone is still not working, blah blah blah, and I reach out to Apple and they're like, well, we can try whatever we can to like reset it, and they were like, yeah, it's gone. So it was sad. I cried because I had pictures from Giovanni when he was born that I didn't send to anybody, so it was a little hard, but
anyways,
it happens. Everybody's
getting-
healthy, nobody died.
Getting the 2 hours.
That's all
So
that matters.
quick last story.
Yeah.
I had to go not feed Chico. Well, yeah, feed him.
Yeah.
But when he was starting getting the glaucoma, you guys were giving him drops to help with the pressure in his eyes,
Yeah.
right? And I I go one day with Kevin, Emily's cousin, to give the Chico drops. And
Kevin's allergic to dogs.
oh yeah, Kevin is allergic to dogs too.
Oh,
That was
so am I.
That was crazy. But that's besides the story. I go to give Chico. There was 2 different drops, 2 in one eye, or 2 with like two, and then the other bottle 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Right. I get one bottle. I drop one of my because he's already blind, right? And so I catch him off guard. He's laying in his spot on the couch, and I go all like secretly and I drop one.
Pobrecito.
And then he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" and then I drop the other. And when I go to switch eyes, he snaps at me, and I'm like, "God damn it!" And then I go to do it again. He snaps at me, and I'm like, "Shit!" And so now I know what I gotta do. And I grab Chico, I put him on the counter, and I just like military hug him, like grab him, grab his snout, and like I felt bad because I was constraining him, but at the
Yeah.
same time he didn't freak out. It was really weird. Like he got tense, but like I feel like most dogs would like go into that freak out mode and like try squiggling around. He didn't. He got tense and he stayed there like a
You know
statue.
what helps a lot? Like putting him on the counter because he knows that there's no way. Right?
That's what I did.
Nowhere
I
to
put him
to
on the
go.
counter.
Yeah.
I picked him up, put him on the counter, hugged him, and then Kevin gave him the drops. That was scary. I was so scared that when I let go to pull back, that he was just gonna like whatever body part he could find, he was gonna grab. Oh, and he does that
and
other
he
weird
bites hard.
yeah, I bet he does. And he does that other weird thing when you put him in the cage, he freaks out. You know what I'm talking about?
He goes into the cage.
He
fine.
goes in, no
Uh-huh.
problem. But the moment you grab the door, he
Yeah,
like
'cause-
he like freaks out.
Yeah, because it's like you're touching my space.
Yeah.
So you have to keep like I guess like a calm stage and be like, okay, bye, Chico, goodbye. But if I start going like, and he's like
struggling
he goes
with it,
crazy.
he goes crazy.
And
yeah.
he has no sense of like his size. Like I
No,
remember when
no.
Zeus would get there, he would try to mount Zeus. And we're
Yeah.
like, bro, Zeus is like 3 times,
No,
4
Three.
times
with
bigger than
Nala.
you.
The best part was with Nala. He's completely blind and he's really trying to get her. And you see him, he's standing up like
He
trying to
stands up
fight her.
on 2 feet and he's like hopping behind her like this.
Yeah.
I remember
Fucking
one of
Chico.
the times you guys went on vacation and me and Eddie stayed there. He gets on the bed with you guys, but clearly like he recognizes your smell, like he's used to you guys.
Yeah.
But now that it was us, like my bag was on the floor, like there was different things in the room that I'm
Yeah.
sure affected him. Well, he jumps up onto the bed and he's right next to my arm, and I'm like, I'm allergic, like at least move to my feet, right? So I'm like trying to get him to move. I'm like, Chico, come over here, whatever. It's not working, and I'm like, babe, what do I do? Oh, just grab him and move him. I'm like, I don't know about that. I try to move him and he starts growling at me. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna just leave him there. Eventually he moved, but
Yeah.
like he probably thought that I was like trying to push him off of the bed or do something, so he
Yeah.
started freaking out. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we're way in bed. I have to tippy toe around him too.
He did the same thing.
I
to
mean, he
me.
knows. I'm like, move, but I just do it like with my leg or
Can you
something.
tell what's his favorite thing every time Randy goes to the bathroom?
Oh.
He likes to get in Randy's underwear.
What? Are you serious?
Oh yeah,
Yup.
there's pictures.
Picture.
He's like, he gets like all
cuddles.
cozy and that's his spot. That's his
It's
spot.
inside Randy's underwear when Randy's in bathroom, bro.
Yes.
Okay.
That's his
Chico's
daddy.
favorite thing to do. So, guys, you're not only hearing stories of entrepreneurship, you're hearing about Chico and underwear love too.
Well, looks like we hit the 2-hour mark. Your children, I'm sure, are very tired
Oh yeah.
and ready to go to sleep. So we'll end it there. Thank you guys for coming. Make
Yeah,
sure to like
guys.
and subscribe.
Last thing.
What
like
is
and
your
subscribe.
Instagram?
Yep,
So
what's
they can
your
go take a
Insta?
look.
We'll have
Beauty-
that on below
Yeah.
in the description
Beauty
as well.
Sense Dry Bar.
Beauty Sense Dry Bar. Go check it out if you want to be looking on fleek for all your events.
And most of you are local, so you should be able to get in
For
touch.
sure. Yeah.
And the ones that are not local, when you do fly in here for any type of event,
you need
you
nice.
might want
You need
to.
to look on fleek when you're in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, because we want
Go to
to.
Beauty Sense
We don't
Dry
want to
Bar.
see you looking like a bum, so you
Yeah.
first you visit the dry bar.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. We'll see you on Sunday, maybe.
Maybe Sunday, maybe Sunday. It's
Maybe.
not a promise. Maybe Sunday.
If not, we'll see you guys Tuesday.
Yeah.
Thanks for having